Yet I've noticed I have uncanny attraction to people whose heritage is from where I'm from. And I didn't even know I was from that area until recently, by the way.
Where are you from?
What area?
Ukraine.
Ooh.
Ukraine and
Ukrainian
Poland.
women are hot
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I like my wife. I was like, and it was like, why? I was like, it feels like it's in my DNA.
Do you mean women
It's
with,
so
with
weird.
small waists and bubble asses and
No, it's just that.
No,
It's not just that.
I just want to get clear. And clear skin.
Yeah, this is groundbreaking.
Are you also into thick, luscious
Real
hair?
pretty faces.
Wait a minute.
He's like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Where's my magnifying glass?
So,
you mean that? Yeah, because I like that too.
Yeah. So you're getting there. But it's not,
Yes, we did, cause we back at it again. It's the fighter and the kid.
This is really the fighter and the kid.
Come on, baby. We're starting.
Let's do it. Yeah, you get the intro, B.
Dr.
Kick
Drew.
it off.
Welcome.
so glad to see you guys again.
I
Long
know,
time,
man.
yes.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Since probably COVID. I'm trying. Maybe last time I saw you was when we did King of the Sting. Was it?
It's been different incarnations. You, me, and Theo did something.
Yeah, you, me, and
We
Theo
were
did
supposed
King
to
of the
do
Sting.
a pillow talk
Yes.
for 90 Day Fiance because we're so gay.
Hey, man, it's one of the long-term side effects of COVID.
It absolutely is. We looked at it as a sign of how horrible the COVID lockdowns were. That we were watching 90 Day Fiance.
The
We look
trashiest-
forward to every week.
Literally, me and him were about to do an after show
Yeah.
of 90 Day Fiance during COVID.
Oh my
And then we
God.
looked at our schedules and it was just like, oh, do we really need to do this?
You are the last guy I would ever think would watch that show. But you
Yeah.
know, it's too hot to handle. I watched another one because my wife watches all.
Oh,
this
you know what my wife's like? Loves. Just goes
Love at
nuts.
first
over
sight?
it. No. I don't know how you guys missed this one, but it drove me insane. MILF Manor. MILF Manor. Showing
Dude, how that show's on
Look up
air
the-
is
how
insane.
they did that.
That's what,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Wow.
And I knew it right away. I thought, they're going to bring their sons in here.
Yes.
I knew exactly what's
It's
happening.
nuts. So it's older women with younger men.
But all of those
switch
women,
the roles.
all those women's sons are the younger men.
Yes.
Well, that's weird.
Yes, it's weird.
It's very Oedipal.
There's their son.
It's very awkward.
Oh God, that's
Well, because the other young dudes are hitting on the mom.
And you know it's an interesting example of how reality shows work. You could tell they were in sort of a Stockholm syndrome because they'd bring somebody in from the outside and they like kind of break out of it like what are you doing? What am I doing? It's like-
what am I doing? That's so interesting, man.
that
Everything-
one's a weird vibe.
Yeah.
That one, and then I got really into Love is Blind.
Oh yeah, we
That's
did the
my-
first season.
And then you
of that.
find
That
out
was-
love is not blind. It never works out. It never works out. My favorite is when they do the reveal and like they connect. They've never seen each other and like today is my day. I'm meeting my soulmate. And it opens like, yeah, dude, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
And it just never works out.
When I worked in the back office of a bank, I had a total love affair with a woman on the phone. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to talk to her every day.
Yeah.
And she was so amazing. She was just like her voice
I
and
know.
everything. And I was like, I'm going to marry her. And I said, we have to have lunch. And
It's unfortunate.
I-
Isn't it sad
I-
when you don't have
she's
the?
eating in the window. I walk. She knew what I looked like. I walk and I see her go. And she was
Oh, I'm sorry.
not my type.
No,
She was not. She had not been missing a lot of meals. It was just a whole.
But I think that
She's
show,
such a
like
doll.
the experiment is Love is Blind. It's actually not. It's like it should be Friends Are Blind because you guys
Yes.
connected and you guys are gonna be great friends. And you have a lot of
Yes.
similar things in common.
but having sex?
as far as just a sexual attraction, it's very visual for both parties.
Both. That's what I
Both.
want to know if both of them are having the same experience because men are very visual, but women are too.
But, that's my takeaway from
Yeah.
I watch every season. I love that show. But you'll see the women are usually the ones like he's just not my type.
Yeah,
like there's this
yeah.
one. She's the most attractive girl on the show. She is paired up with a shorter, kind of very nice, like kind of beta male type of dude. And he was like, "Am I your type?" And she's like, I wouldn't technically say that. She's like, usually I date like 6'6", full sleeve tattoos.
Yeah.
Like
Muscles.
she's talking about former professional athletes. This
Yes.
guy's the exact opposite. Of course, it didn't work out.
Yes.
It just didn't work. That's her there.
Well, that's interesting too because that's kind of we are physical. So they say women know right away. They can see a man. They know immediately if they would have sex with him or not. But a man can talk her out of it real quick. So
Yes.
she can see a guy. He's attractive. Now, if he's got the goods, if he's cool, and he knows how to behave. But she can also see a guy who's very attractive, and if he's a douchebag,
Yes.
she might have sex with him, but typically she's going to be like, there's something about him.
Yes.
Like he sucks. Men are just like, you got track marks, you're a Nazi.
I can
and a
deal
lower
with
back
it. I
tattoo.
can deal with it. I can manage it.
I'll navigate through
We'll
this.
talk about it after I come, you know?
Yeah.
I can deal with it.
I'll navigate through this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that racist.
She's a Nazi, but she's got curves. Yeah.
Yeah, that show was just absolutely insane.
Well, biology's funny. They did this study on because this woman Naomi Wolf wrote a book called The Beauty Myth, which is the idea.
So
that
Naomi's a good
there's-
friend of mine.
Is she?
Yeah.
I don't.
She's
know.
eating shit lately because she dared to question the vaccine narratives.
Well, she did.
She's a brilliant woman.
I'm sure, but
Oh
she,
my
she
God.
wrote that.
What's her
book.
background?
She's
Before you
a
go on.
journalist, but she's really, her thing is women's health, women's issues. She really has been thinking about women, writing about women, Naomi Wolf.
Wolf, thanks.
Yeah. And she's just so smart. And she gets crap because she's not a scientist and she's not a clinician, but boy, she is a clear thinker. And,
Is she?
But that narrative doesn't work. So like her, who's a journalist, is
Yeah.
looking out for women's health.
Yep.
But you guys realize Bill Gates not a scientist either.
Exactly.
But they go with him. Like,
Yeah.
well, look at him. He's pushing the vaccines. Like,
Yeah.
he's not a scientist.
Well, Naomi Wolf,
And then she gets shit.
she wrote this idea that beauty with the small waist, the big tits, all that stuff is
Yeah.
a myth. But I think she was taking a task on it because if even congenitally blind men
Yeah.
who've never seen before in their life,
Yeah, they
ever,
go like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in.
if they touch a mannequin, they prefer the 30 to 70.
No, there's no
ratio.
myth. I mean, not all men are the same, but men are very visual. Men have certain.
There are standards. There's symmetry.
We're symmetry. We're looking for fecundity. We're looking for fertility and good genes and stuff like that. Ultimately, and then we have our thing. Each of us has our own thing, and I'm that's the part that is more interesting to me.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's much more variable.
Yes.
much more variable.
Like
And
chins attracted like crowbars with tits.
there are people that are into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
guys are
did
into it.
He did a show with a woman who's very heavy. She was his feature, or I think your MC, and she's a big girl. And you tell the story where she was like, yeah, just wait. They did a meet and greet, and she goes, I'm gonna get hit up. I get more men who hit me up
Yeah.
secretly.
Oh yeah, she was MC
Yeah.
the club booked, and then she was.
And
like,
but they're really into it. Those guys, they're into
They
stuff.
love-
that's
Yeah.
their fetish, and
Yeah.
she was and she was very open about it. I didn't ask her clear, and she
Good for her. Good
very
for
funny.
her.
And
Good
she
for
was
them.
like, man, business is booming.
I
She's like,
noticed.
especially with your,
bless her.
she goes with your crowd. It's a real cock fest. So man, business can be booming tonight. I was like, really?
So the health, but here's what I find odd about the human behavior, which is that the more genetic admixturing there is, the healthier the population.
Yes.
Okay. So the further afield the person is genetically from us, the better it is from a health standpoint.
Yeah.
Yet I've noticed I have uncanny attraction to people whose heritage is from where I'm from. And I didn't even know I was from that area until recently, by
Where are
the way.
you from?
What area?
Ukraine. Ukraine
Well,
and
Ukrainian
Poland.
women are
and
hot
that
as
stuff.
shit.
What?
They're hot as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like my wife. I was like, and it was like, why? I was like,
in your
it's like
DNA. You're
it
wired.
feels like it's in
Yeah.
my DNA, and so that sort of Czech, Austrian, Polish, Ukraine thing. I'm
So do you
like
mean-
helpless.
Do you mean women
It's
with,
so
with
weird.
small waists and bubble asses and
No,
big
it's
tits?
not
Is that what
just
you're
that.
saying?
No,
High
it's not
cheekbones?
just that.
I just want to get clear. And clear skin.
Yeah, this is groundbreaking.
Are you also into thick, luscious
Real
hair?
pretty faces.
Wait a minute.
He's like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Where's my magnifying glass?
So,
you mean that? Yeah, because I like that too.
Yeah. So you're getting there, but it's not even that you're not quite in that zone yet. You're not. It's so
Not
funny.
yet, not
Look
yet.
up. You know who was in that zone for me was from 90 Day Fiance Yara.
Oh yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
I know you know.
Yeah. So,
Let me see.
He looks in that frequency. Yeah.
Let me see. Who is that?
yeah, that's my zone.
Yeah.
That's sort of my zone.
Hey,
Perfect.
Drew.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc. It's in everybody's.
I get the
It's in
same sickness,
everybody's.
Doc.
I hate
I feel
huge
helpless.
eyes and big lips and big. Yeah, that's terrible right there. If you're into girls, yeah.
You guys are funny.
No, it is weird though, because that's your thing, but that makes sense because you said you
It
found
shouldn't
out.
be like that. It should be the opposite. I should be like, I'll go. I'd like somebody from the other side of the world.
Well, I guess that explains mine because my thing's Latinas. Like I see Latinas.
Is that your genetics?
Yeah. No, it's not my genetics.
Oh, okay, good.
I know
You're
I look
healthier than I
Mexican,
am.
but I'm not. I'm
And by the
German,
way, I'm
English.
like. If you showed me the picture of what you're into, I'd have the same reaction that Brian.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like, of course.
Yeah, but it's just that's my flavor.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, your wife is, his wife has the kind of backside. We were walking and I stopped her. I go, Joe, like seriously. She goes, what? I go, I mean, it's out of control.
Yeah.
Her waist is like that. It's just like, come on. And she's like, hee. Let's take a little break, Bryan.
Can we take a break? And this
Take a
one
break.
is a good sponsor to have on the show because we got Dr. Drew.
We got a doctor.
He's an MD.
Yeah, but you pay a lot for prescription drugs unless you have Rex MD.
I mean, listen, I like Dr. Drew, but even though he's a doctor, I hate going to the doctor's office. It takes forever. That's why Rex MD makes getting generic and branded Viagra and Cialis easy.
It's
Everything's
embarrassing.
online.
You're going to go to the doctor sometimes. You're like, hey, doc, I'm having a little problem with
Hey,
the
Dr.
piece.
Drew, my wiener won't wake up.
Yeah. Now,
All
if you
right?
know him, you can say that. But for most people, it's nervous. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go to a doctor.
No, and Rex MD delivers straight to your door. No office visits. No
Damn.
talking to a receptionist. Just super simple.
You know, Viagra can cost $90 a pill.
Dude,
Did you
I
know
thought it was
that?
$9 million a pill.
No, it's Rex MD has the generic Viagra for just exactly the same thing. $2 a pill.
This
How
is
about that?
insane. All you got to do is fill out a quick medical questionnaire on their website. A doctor will review your situation, prescribe you generic Viagra if appropriate. It gets shipped right to your door with free 2-day shipping. It's fast, simple, and cheap, and you can access your U.S. licensed RxMD physician anytime you need afterwards. RxMD has helped over 300,000 bros get generic Viagra quickly, conveniently. All right, act right now. Take advantage of their deal by heading to rexmd.com/fighter. This is an exclusive deal. You can save up to 90% off where you'll pay as low as $2 per dose on generic Viagra instead of $90 on Viagra. Starter packs of generic Viagra Cialis are available right now to the Fire the Kid listeners and viewers. That's rexmd.com/fighter for up to 90% off plus a free gift. Your partner will thank you.
I think you heard us talking about how good these macadamia nuts are.
Dude,
with
Dr. Drew came here.
He goes, I want them
with
as
an
a sponsor.
appetite, and because we have these nuts, we have macadamia, house of macadamia nuts all over, and he goes, "Man, are these healthy? Try it."
Forget healthy. Why don't you bite into one?
Oh, and he goes, "Oh,
So
while I'm on
delicious.
keto, low carb." I'm like, "Go ahead, buddy, dude." He ate half of our shipment.
Yes, he did. Well, they are truly delicious. They're probably the best nut health-wise you can consume. They have a fat profile that is better than pretty much any other nut. It helps with satiety, meaning you feel satiated, so you're trying to lose weight, and you eat macadamia nuts, you'll feel fuller for longer.
Dude, House of Macadamias are so hot right now. You got Brett Weinstein talking about Joe Rogan, Rick Rubin, Tim Ferriss.
Best.
The two of us.
Farmer owned, by the way.
We're all nutty.
Farmer owned. They can guarantee the best quality and prices. All right. They also have a bunch of other stuff like nut butters. They got.
Oh, dude, I got that nut butter right there on the
bars.
table.
They got nut bars. They got the nut cooking. It's got a higher smoke point than olive oil.
You're talking about the
great
cold
for
press
cooking.
extra virgin macadamia
Yeah,
oil?
buttery flavor.
Oh, dude.
It has more of the good kinds of fats.
I'll tell you right now,
than
we have
anything else.
4 bags of the white chocolate dipped macadamias, and if those touch your lip,
Dude, that chocolate. I'm the white chocolate guy, but I'm also the dark chocolate guy. Or whatever.
you don't
those chocolates
discriminate,
are.
dude. You
I
like
don't
white and black.
discriminate, bro. I'm
Me neither,
loving it
dude.
all.
And listen, they never run discounts, but
Give 'em a
because
discount.
you guys listen to this show, House of Macadamias has a very special offer. Use code TFAK for 20% off your order. And for a limited time, we're giving you guys a free bottle of cold pressed extra virgin macadamia oil. Worth
Rub it on your
$20.
body and in your hair or
Dude,
everywhere.
Dr. Drew's like, will you rub it
Cook
on me
with it.
after the show? I was like,
I don't
we'll
know if he
see,
said
dude.
that. I
You
don't know
ate
if he
half
said
of our
that.
nuts.
Okay. He
Visit
said that in our fantasy
houseofmacadamias.com. That's houseofmacadamias.com/TFAK. Get you some
Macadamia,
nuts.
MACADAMIAS, yeah. But I mean, there is a thing about, so they say that you are attracted to, your mother is the first sort of female.
Yes,
You know,
image.
that plays a role.
Seems to, but I'm wondering. There used to be a lot more made of that than in recent years, I'd say.
Probably, I think it's also interesting.
By the way, as an interesting kind of
Yeah.
sideline, a quick, complete sidebar here, but psychoanalysis had a grip on the American psychiatric system for 50 years, and it screwed everything up. These guys were not good.
They're
the
way out.
Oedipal
How
thing,
so?
The Oedipal thing, or
They essentially felt that everything was psychological, everything. And they got to the point where they felt, they got kind of in the zone we're in these days, where everything is put on by society, and including mental illness itself was caused by society, caused by institutions. So they dismantled all the psychiatric hospitals.
Yikes.
And guess where the patients went?
The street.
Streets and the prisons. That's
Yikes.
it.
And by the way,
And nothing has changed since.
And I have not ever forgotten, and I've quoted you many times. We did a podcast, and you said you went to Sacramento.
Yeah.
When you would bring up the fact that homelessness was not a housing problem.
Yes.
It was a mental health
I was calling them
drug problem.
I was calling them murderers too. I told them they were all
Yeah.
murderers.
And they
I did.
They
I
kicked
mean
you
it.
out.
Man,
But you should
Doubling
be.
down.
oh, they kicked me out for trying to. They're finally talking about this. They kicked me out for trying to talk about gravely disabled, because they're, you can hold people against their will if they're going to kill themselves or
Yes.
kill somebody else. If 5 minutes later they say, "I'm just kidding," even if they have a gun access, you can't do anything. It's ridiculous. But there used to be forever something called gravely disabled, which is what you're seeing all over the streets. These people are gravely
They are
disabled.
gravely disabled.
And they're finally starting to bring that back.
Are
There's
they?
A Democratic senator brought it up. I was like,
because
oh my God, thank you. Thank you.
I see these people, and I'm like, this person needs to be in a hospital. Of
course.
This guy
And
had
by the
no
way, but
face.
then we don't have enough hospital beds. We don't have enough psychiatrists. We
Then
need
build,
so much more.
Build.
Yes, build it.
New.
Well, they have the
It
funding.
wouldn't be that.
They
It
have
wouldn't
the
cost
funding
more
for
than
it.
what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
the
we have
amount of money.
We have the homeless industrial complex now.
Oh my God.
You
Completely.
you have NGOs financed by billionaires where the CEOs are making $1 million a year.
Yeah, and there's billions of dollars circulating to help homeless. Billions and billions. People think it's a money problem. It is not a money problem.
No, you're not going to get rid of that. You're not going to get rid of that cottage industry.
Well, it's
now.
also, there's a legal problem. As I said, you can't give people custodial care. You can't hold them against their will when they're really sick. The only country in the world that does this. The other countries take
other
care of sick
countries
people.
do it.
They care of sick people. They're sick.
So are we? Is it coming back?
I had a patient went to Japan. They held her for 4 months against her will because she was wild and on drugs and things. And
Did she come out of it better?
way better, of course. You're way better.
So
than you can hold them.
it's called gravely disabled.
Yes.
And that was a Supreme Court decision, I think, where the state couldn't hold you
really
against
it was-
your will.
Really, it's California has been leading the way the whole way. It's the Landrum-Petra Short Act. Landrum himself went to his grave believing he'd done something horrible. He
did?
Yeah. And it has been. It's been a ridiculous.
It's never good when California is leading the way. That's
Never.
usually a bad sign.
What do we?
Now, are you like, because Adam Carolla, a good buddy of ours, I was on his show recently, me and him were just trash in California. I went, dude, why don't we just leave? He's like, I know. I'd love to find a place.
I think he's gonna.
He says-
I would like to too, but I'm so. I've been here forever.
too.
I'm so entrenched.
Sunshine. My daughter's in high school. I'm not taking her anywhere.
Yeah, when your kids are in high school, that's also an entrenchment. You can't change their life.
When they're younger, it's not as big. A deal. High school, hey, ditch all your friends and we're going
No
here.
way.
You know what's really interesting to me is I spent a lot of time in New York City, and I have property in New York City, and I pay taxes in New York City. And it's a very similar tax structure to California. I feel delighted to pay the taxes because you get so much transportation and city services and parks, and they take care of their homeless. They do things in New York. We just don't do anything here.
Nothing.
We don't, no water, no roads, no electricity. I mean, the basic government functions. No. It's
I
incredible.
worry also that California, now that they've waged war on all these business people like Elon Musk and Silicon Valley, that they're not going to have that tax windfall.
Oh, they're going to be in big trouble very soon.
Big problems, man. They don't have the tax base.
Yeah, it's not going to get better here. That's what, like me and Krill were talking about. He goes, listen, these are my 2 requirements for me to leave. They have to have a Top Golf and a PF Chang's. I was like, well, dude.
Adam, high culture. Old culture.
I was like, man, I feel like you can go too dead serious. And then a caller goes, this is my pitch to Brendan Adam to move to, I think it was Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And he's like giving this whole pitch, and Adam goes, stop.
Look it up.
Do you have a Top Golf and PF Chang's? The guy goes, yeah, we do. He goes, send me a picture of you in front of it. I'll move there.
With a newspaper.
Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, because any economy that has a Top Golf and PF Chang's means they got their shit together. He's
Yeah.
like, I'll move there. I'm like, man, your standards are pretty low.
Well, it's us. It's California.
I know.
You're in Pasadena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Literally.
I like Pasadena.
It's a great town. In fact, by the way, Pasadena, I have no quarrels about. Pasadena city services, power.
Yeah.
They weigh their own power.
Oh, it's all done.
trash, police. They've been, and the reality is, we should be much more interested in our local government than
Correct.
anything else. What is the federal government? Since when did we get so preoccupied with the federal
Correct.
government?
Correct.
They were always like interstate commerce and protection and defense.
All
That's
politics
it.
is local.
And that, everybody from John Adams to with the French guy that wrote Democracy in America.
de Tocqueville.
De Tocqueville, they all said the same thing. That was what made it work, that we focused and participated locally.
That's right. That's
Although
so
LA
important.
County, LA County got a couple notes.
Well, the board of supervisors. When you got the board of supervisors in San Francisco and LA, and they're not even Democrats, they're socialists. That's going to be. I don't know if that's true in LA, but certainly in Chicago, they're socialists.
Oh God,
they're not Democrats.
Don't even start. In
But
Chicago.
they're literally
The Chicago mayor.
No, I'm talking about San Francisco. They voted in that reparations bill, so everybody who's black and descendant of slaves.
Oh, that
gets
won't pass though.
$5 million.
No, it was $8 million. Way to go with that. But Drew, you're talking. Haven't you discussed you'd even run for politics?
Selma, it's so funny you bring that up now. I in the middle of COVID, I was so distressed. I was like, I've got to do something. I got to do something. I can't live with like this. And then I realized I lived in Adam Schiff's district. And I'm like, well, that guy's doing nothing for me.
Yeah.
He's done nothing for our district. Found out he's very tied in with the Armenian community because he advocated for the Armenian genocide. Which, okay, I'll do that. I'm happy to do that too. Yeah. But he does nothing for his district. He's busy doing whatever he's doing out there in Washington. But I just this week got a letter from a physician, for a woman who wrote me a letter saying, and with a $25 check, begging me to run for his office when it comes up.
You should.
And
would you consider it?
I called her because I was kind of moved. I'm like, it's a peer, I thought I should talk to her. And she went to her neighbor's house, who apparently a very wealthy woman and a political mover, and she said, "Believe they're begging me to run." I thought, and I've got a friend that's an Army Ranger, and every time I see him, he's like, gets under my skin, like, your country needs you now. When your country calls, you must respond. Your country needs you.
Oh man, that would fire me up.
Now,
do you see a guy like Dr. Oz that run? Obviously, completely different than you. You see Dr. Oz is kind of.
He's a good friend.
Yeah.
And I called him afterwards, and he was just like, oh my God, you can't imagine what it's like.
That's what I was going to say. Like from the outside, like we know politics is dirty, but I'm sure Dr. Oz now is like, holy shit.
They had a political strategist on who's old times, helped everybody. And he looks at candidates who come to him like this, like we're new, and he says, as long as you're willing to go through a car wash 10,000 times, that's what it's going to feel like.
Well, and my wife's not up for it either. I'm not much sure my kids are. The last time I had prostate cancer. I needed some radiation. That became my excuse. Like, I got radiation this summer.
Yeah.
Forget.
Aren't you busy enough? Like you want to add that on?
I would shift to that.
You'd have to
happen. Yeah,
be a full time.
I think you'd be. I think
because in hindsight, Dr. Oz is probably like never doing that again.
I probably true. I've always been fascinated with the federal government, just history and stuff, and
yes.
I just like the whole deal. Everyone I've ever spoken to that goes into Congress just goes, you can't imagine how horrible it is. I come in with all these great ideas and stuff.
Yeah, it's like loving sausages, then you work at the factory, like this is disgusting.
Yeah,
This
I
is
went
terrible.
to Dan
I don't know what
Crenshaw's
you-
office in the Capitol and talked to him about just how government really works.
Yeah.
It's like none of us really
It's
know.
ugly, man.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Wow.
So read a book called The Fifth Risk by guy, Michael Lewis, who wrote
Risk.
The Big Short, and he wrote large book. Great book. And what he does, he shows you actually all the services government does do that we don't know about. So I always talk about this on stage. But the reason you don't worry about geese flying into the engine of your plane is the Department of Agriculture has ornithologists, scientists that are there that shoot fireworks off. And they know exactly when to shoot fireworks off to keep geese out of the airfield. They also,
Not only that, they throw frozen birds into the jet engines before they approve them.
Yeah.
To make sure they can deal
to
with
make sure that they can continue operating
That's right.
after a frozen.
They do all kinds of stuff. They keep peregrine falcons to keep all the other birds out of the airfield.
No, that's
But there are
great, but they
1,000
can't
things-
fix the pothole off my street?
Well,
I know. That's
so
that's
this is what
city.
he says. He says, government. So Michael Lewis looked at so stem cell therapy, okay, and immunotherapy, which is saving a lot of lives. All started actually in government research.
Government
labs.
funding?
Oh,
Yeah.
government's funded too much.
Yeah.
Too much
Well,
funding. on research.
that's true. But
COVID-19.
what's interesting about all that is that we benefit from it, but it's such a complicated organism.
Yes.
I think it's got 5 million people in it. The federal government, something crazy. And there's one guy he found. He found one guy in Washington who is responsible for a lot of the organization of the different departments, and he understands literally everything about government. But it's such a complicated organism. There's so many things going on there.
Yeah.
And this is what the other thing. You get a bill as a congressman, you get it, and it's you get it a day and a half to 2 days before you're going to vote on it.
And it's 1,200 pages.
1,500 pages.
Yeah.
You're not going to vote.
That's why you get a team, though, right?
Your team doesn't have time. Your interns are reading it. I'm telling you.
I know.
But I think a lot of people
the senators or congressmen never read the stuff.
No.
They read pieces that gets thrown in front of them.
But I think like a lot of people, I even think Obama wanted to make a change, but then you get compromised somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I actually don't have as much powers as I thought I was.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get voted back in.
Yeah, there's no way.
Your
Yeah, I'm not going to run for
fundraiser.
office. You guys just convinced me to forget it.
Sorry,
I'm a
man.
completely talking out of it. Completely deflated.
Someone brought it up
I'm
to
going to
me.
go back to watching 90 Day Fiance. Just call it a life.
I got 2 books after we do this.
But
Right.
wouldn't,
We're ready
and
to
then
start.
also they're going to put you through the car wash, and you do that. Was it After Hours Pod, which is kind of a like
Yeah. And my wife's on that too, and she talks about stuff.
stuff like anal and stuff
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a problem. It's all going to come up.
Of course.
Yeah,
Well,
in debates, the guys are like, "You want to vote for this guy?
Yeah.
He does butt stuff."
They'll clip it out. They'll have anal. They're going to call you anal doc, and you'll have some
the anal master.
The thing is, though, if I were
Creepy
to
anal doctor.
if I were to do something like this, I'd have to get all that shit together over all these years of how many.
good luck.
Get it out. Get ahead of it.
and have you guys push it out for
Yes.
me. Like, the team really push it out.
team.
We will.
Like
We
this
will.
is who he is. This
By
is
the
what he
way,
does.
We told
Yeah.
Herschel Walker we'd offer that business. He turned it down. Look how that happened.
No, that's so funny, man.
How Herschel Walker was like, "I'm just going to run." Someone's like, but what about the kid stuff? He's like, not a big deal.
If you really want to know what politics, if you a congressman, what it's like, all you have to do is, and I've done this. You go to Washington and just go to the street. I can't remember the street, but you're not allowed to call and raise money for your campaign on government grounds. So what you'll see is rows of cars. You could probably look this up.
K
With
Street or
congressmen in the car with a list of donors, and they have to call their donors, and they're on the phone. So, really, Lawrence Wright, Lawrence, what the fuck is his name? I can't remember his name. Lawrence something. He wrote a book called Republic Lost, and he did a thing. Congressmen spend between 40 and 60% of their day and their
phones?
time raising money.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Republic lost Paul.
Lessig?
Yeah, Lawrence Lessig, amazing guy.
Bring up Dr. Drew's, what's it called? After
Dark.
After Dark.
This is your book?
Are you gonna? No, this is my.
it's like,
You guys should be on it. Why don't you come visit me?
anytime.
100%.
We do it in Austin.
You got our boy Josh
Wolf.
on.
I'll be out in Austin. I'll be in Austin in August. I'm doing.
Well, let me
I'm doing
try. Tell me
Rogan.
exactly when. I'll try to schedule the show.
Okay, I will.
when you're
I'll
there.
be out. I'll
Because our boy Mike Catherwood lives in Austin.
I know.
When I was out there, he just doesn't live in Austin. He's on like a farm.
Did you go visit him?
No, I didn't have time.
I know it's an hour outside of
Yeah,
town.
it's an hour out.
who
and I
is
was
this,
like,
Bubba?
Catherwood.
Mike
Our boy,
Catherwood.
Mike
Yeah,
Catherwood.
yeah.
Yeah, the best. But he's in Austin. He's just crushing it.
He comes in and does this once in a while as Rudy,
Yeah,
Remember Rudy?
the whole Rudy thing.
and so we have lots of good. The Christina ones are.
Who's Lauren Compton?
looking at her.
Oh, Lauren Compton.
Jesus.
is,
I was just gonna say that,
yeah.
but then I was like, you know what?
That's a
She does well. She on that
well.
particular episode, she talked about Disney jail. Her first time having sex was on Pirates of the Caribbean. And,
The ride?
It's the story is unbelievable. I mean, you can it's episode 212, and she says they finished. They were the only people on the ride for some reason. I forget what the reason was, and they get to the end of the ride, and there's like a team of guys there with mops, and like they do this all the time, and they grab her and the boyfriend, put them in handcuffs, and take them to Disney jail.
Damn.
What?
How long did they contain her for?
Did they use cuffs? No.
She's a comedian. She's a comedian. So you guys should
Wow.
Oh,
know
interesting.
more.
Comedian?
I think she's going to have a regular show on Your Mom's House.
She's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's gorgeous.
She's in that's Brian's zone. And
And
we talked
she's
about
funny.
these zones we were all in.
yeah. Yeah. She's a beautiful woman.
She looks a little bit like Laura Sanko, right?
does.
That's
Yes.
everybody's zone. Am I wrong? My lord. Yeah.
Alrighty.
There's nobody.
Pirates of the Tip.
Nobody goes like this. Yeah, nobody goes.
Can you call up the video just to see what? I guess it's too much. It's too crazy to do all that.
Is there any like copyright stuff on this or
Is there what?
copyright?
He owns it though.
I know, but I mean, we still have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you have my permission, but I own it with Tom Segura, so
Yeah, because you're on Your Mom's House
yeah,
network.
that's what this is. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Tom's
And then
great.
my wife would kill me by the way if I didn't.
This week on Dr.
All right, just go for it. Whatever. But keep going. There, keep going.
Keep going.
I think Oh boy, we're just looking at videos. It's the thing, we look at horrible videos there. Oh, I think that was it. I think
The virginity stories, sublingual, Disney sublingual.
yes. I think.
Was she talking about like Lion King?
Not depressed?
Oh well, forget it. We didn't know.
We'll find it later. She's fantastic.
That's how I think of Lauren. By the way,
Such
that's
a
what-
fan.
Yeah.
Bring her in here.
Every man is.
Okay.
No, every man's a fan.
Well, yeah, that's
No,
just-
she can hold her own. She's good.
Yeah.
No, I mean that makes it even worse. That's so she's also smart and funny. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
big problem.
But on that show, you cover everything.
Everything.
You've had Jason
We start
Ellis on,
taking- oh, yeah,
Catherine
oof.
Wood.
Jason had a rough show in there.
Why?
He's been down lately. He's been. You guys must talk to him.
Yeah.
He's better. He's better. But
Is he doing better now? I talked to him a few months ago.
Oh, he got worse.
poor
He's
guy.
breaking with Katie and stuff.
Oh, poor guy. Poor, yeah. I love
good
Jason.
It takes my
people,
breath away.
I love Jason. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You just feel for him. Yeah,
He's
really
a great
good dude.
guy, man.
Yeah.
Beyond. I've been a Jason fan. I was probably an early adopter.
Yeah.
Because he's just a great guy and
He
he's
is.
a real
He's a good
person, and
man.
got a lot of shit going on. And he's not bashful about talking about it. And
Yeah, I love him because he's always been
It's
so radically
same reason I
honest.
love Doug Stanhope. These are, they just have their stuff and they're good, good. I don't get pejorative about people's stuff. People's stuff is people's stuff. I have stuff, you have stuff, and if they want help with it, then I want to help, and I worry about them because I know where these things go.
Yeah.
If they don't deal with them, but that's just as a friend I worry about them.
Why do you think? Why do you think that is? Is it to what ratio is it trauma? What ratio is it your
Is
wiring?
for what?
Whether it's depression, addiction, whatever.
Oh,
it might be.
it's all. I just speak in
Neurosis.
general sweeping terms.
Yeah.
I have found it to be true when it comes to psychiatric illness and human behavior, both. Generally, not always, not 100% of the time, but generally, you can count on about 60% of the phenomenon on the basis of genetics alone.
Oh, wow.
A little more than 50%, generally about 60%.
Cocaine makes it better.
Genes are not destiny, especially not with the cocaine in there.
No, nobody did a bunch of cocaine and was like, it got better. Nobody's.
Well, Freud thought he found the first antidepressant when
Yes,
he
he
got
did.
the cocaine,
Yes,
and then
he
his
did.
friend got psychotic, and he thought better of it.
That's right.
So 60% genetic
Is
when they're
genetics, yeah.
born.
So you're born with these genes are not destiny, but if you manifest a behavior or an illness, when it comes to brain and psychiatric pathology, about 60% is on the basis of genetics alone. That's a big generalization, but that's generally true. For sure true in addiction and alcoholism. For
That's
sure.
scary.
100%.
Super.
And isn't there there's a subset of a population, people of Northern European extraction, some of those people, when they drink alcohol, experience euphoria. It's not drunk, it's
Yeah.
like probably some similar what happens to people when they're doing blow.
Like the tolerance is higher?
Generally, there's more of that in people who have the alcoholic potential.
Yeah.
Now, that's never been proven. That's something I've seen repeatedly. My alcoholics, I drink a glass of wine, I want to go to sleep. My alcoholics want to go repave their front lawn, repave their driveway. They
Right.
get same thing with opiates with
So it's a
them.
stimulant.
I am down with an opiate. They feel up. They want to go to work. They want to do stuff. That's often the way it starts, at least. The other thing with the genetic potential for alcoholism, the only marker that actually has been proven to be associated with the potential of alcoholism is resistance to alcohol intoxication. If you're somebody that can drink your friends under the table
Yeah.
and grandpa was an alcoholic, you got to
Red
watch
flag.
out. You
Yeah,
got to
red
watch
flag.
out.
Wow.
Is also genetics too? Does that play a part in obesity as well? Because
Everything.
This dad came up to me and his son, same age as my son. He was on the other soccer team. He's like, man, we're trying. His kid's big, like Lizzo big, not in a good way. He's like, yeah, we're trying to figure out. I'm like, well, what's his diet like? Is it prone to it already? I'm also not a doctor, so if you're talking to me, you're already fucked. But it's like the kid. It's like the kid is eating 7 Snickers at night.
But again-
he's like, but doesn't your kid eat like that? I'm
Probably.
like, yeah, but look at his mom. Look at me. Like we're not prone to obesity.
Right, exactly. So it's the two, genetics and environment.
Yeah.
And now we have Ozempic and Manjaro and all this cool stuff.
But every
That's why I recommend him. I said he's 7. Get him on Ozempic.
yeah, but people
Maybe. I don't know about pediatric use of Ozempic, but
Also, don't listen to me.
but we didn't have an obesity problem in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, did we?
well, not like this. And I was reading a Twitter thread from a woman that I follow, and she was saying she's from, I forget what country, and she said she came here, ate the same diet, and gained weight on it. And I thought, isn't that interesting? We have so much more cornstarch.
I was going to say
and
it's the
more-
industry.
We have all so much stuff in our food. It's yummy. It's all
Denser
carefully designed to
calories.
make us eat and buy more.
And the portions are big.
Huge
Portions
portions
are huge here compared to everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, I remember I was in Holland years ago, and I was trying to buy a Denver omelet, and I'm like, no, an omelet, and they're like, what, ham and cheese in the same omelet?
Yeah, man,
same omelet. It's like, what?
It's true. It's true. And you're in France, and they'll take lunch, and it'll be a salad with some tuna.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
But I don't know how
4 hours later, you go back to work.
Yeah. But I don't know how you break that cycle, because if you look at like the food, it's like if you're trying to eat healthy, like the cheaper, faster options, fast food. It's
Macadamia
everywhere.
nuts.
Macadamia nuts.
Macadamia nuts,
answer.
baby.
I've loaded up
people
on
are-
chocolate macadamia
Yeah, you
nuts.
feel
and-
good.
It helps with satiety.
That's my wrapper right there.
Yep. It's delicious.
No, I told you that the old, what the name? I told you the name a few minutes ago. The old protein diet, the original Dr.
Atkins.
Atkins diet. Macadamia nuts were his number one recommendation for
Really?
appetite management in between meals.
Our boy George over there should be 450 pounds.
Good for you! Congratulations.
Flex on him, dog.
I was watching Brendan. I was just a fan, and when he started bringing Mike Catherwood on,
Oh, yeah.
I was watching, and
Yeah.
Brendan was going through a hard time. The show was going through stuff, and I was
You
like,
pulled
I'm
him right
going
out of
through
that.
a hard time. So
I shipped him Ozempic.
We all go through our shit, right?
The Ozempic
Everybody.
is tricky because you lose a lot of your body mass, right? Like,
They don't know yet.
They don't
know
exactly.
yet.
They don't really know. You
Hey,
get
you're the Twitter guy. You're the Twitter guy. What news
no, I was
feed are
listening
you
to Peter
reading?
Attia.
Nah, they
Peter's
don't
awesome.
know.
Yeah.
So Peter's a
But they
friend.
really don't know.
I have prescribed Ozempic, by the way. I've done it, and I recommended it the other day to someone who didn't really want it. And it was diabetic, and so it's in the lexicon of what we're using.
It's been around for a while because it started for diabetes. And
Right.
Correct.
Dude, I'm telling you, the mom group that my son's friends, all of them are skinny.
Awesome.
All of them are on Ozempic. I'm like, it's working. It's freaking working. These moms are
But
thick.
Peter, I was bugging him the other day about longevity stuff. I'm like, come on, metformin, blah, blah, blah. I'm bringing up all these things I've read about. And he finally looks up at me and goes, vigorous exercise. Vigorous exercise. That's it. Vigorous
it.
exercise.
That's it. Yeah.
And I go, you're right.
There's no
I got
easy.
it.
Yeah, there's no. fucking
And I saw him I think he's brilliant. And he's got a new book called
longevity. or
Outlive, I think. Check it out. Outlive, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Recommend it highly. One of
Really?
the best, sort of easiest to digest discussions about lipids I've ever seen. He knows it so clearly. He was able to communicate.
What does he say about lipids? I got
Outlive,
high
yeah.
cholesterol.
There it is.
Built
Outlive,
from
that's it.
broken.
Science
that
for
one?
longevity. And I saw him on a podcast the other day. He goes, we're not going to make 90-year-olds into 30-year-olds. He goes, that's science impossible.
Yeah.
He goes, we want to make 90-year-olds to be able to feel like and be functional like a 70-year-old.
Where their
a
body's not in the way
68-year-old.
as much.
Like a 60. You've never seen a 90-year-old if you don't understand how it really gets.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not pretty.
No, we see Biden. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
That last decade, he's still in his 80s. That 90s, it just goes.
But he's a president of the United States 80s when it beat you up, man. I mean, it is. He is in the 12th round. He's
know.
down 10-8.
I know. I don't understand. I mean, in my profession, you have limit. You age out. Your peers will come in. Wellness communities will
really?
come in and go. You can't function anymore. You can't do it. You're going to hurt somebody.
Most professional, I
Yeah.
mean, in professional sports, you age out.
Yeah.
My
You just-
dermatologist he was literally, I think he was 89. He was
That's
still
not good.
working.
That's not good. Well, he's not going to work in a hospital. That's for sure.
No, he
That's
was
not good.
looking at my skin.
Did you get a discount?
I didn't get a discount.
These guys and gals can do certain things at those advanced ages. It's not like they're useless. They can do stuff. But
No,
they
you can
can't-
call them for advice because they've
His
seen
back-
everything because
he
they're
came in,
100.
His back was all. He was an Italian guy from
Why were
Philly.
you
I
seeing-
loved him. He was
where
like
were you
this.
going?
Because I thought I had
You had
a
a-
spot on my
you had a
back. I was
Groupon
like, I have
code.
cancer. And
Is
he's
he the
like,
one that did your lids?
No, that's a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
That's
Did your
Jason
what?
Diamond.
You guys lids done.
I had my lids done.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, well,
He
that's
said-
because, but that
Bryan did
That's from
this.
Jason Diamond, who's like a plastic surgeon.
that becomes a visual. You start screwing with your vision. It
That's
gets-
what-
Yeah.
so my mother
Your
said-
insurance will actually pay for it.
Yes, because my mother, because I was seeing it when I was doing the Goldbergs, or I was doing school.
Yeah.
My eyes were like that.
Like a hound dog.
My mother goes, our family gets really bad. Do it now and nobody will notice.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't understand. If I do it, the world's going to know because I'm going to talk about it on my podcast.
No, he came on here and got lit up because his eyes were all black. And he's like, dude, I feel
But it was-
better.
It's a
worked.
great procedure.
And he
That's-
put, I didn't realize this. My
Took some
wife,
fat out from under
he
there?
put fat under here.
Put fat in,
And I
yeah.
go, no, that never happened. And my wife goes, why do you think you had he took it from my stomach right here and put it in there. I
You
was
put
like,
fat in your nose?
No, under his eye.
Oh, sorry.
you're a son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah,
There
I can
am.
see that.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
a
Dude,
child.
I was
complete-
like at the recovery room.
That's him on the show. That's
Now
just
that's a
me
good look.
lighting Brian up.
There you go, Bryan. That's a good look right there. Oh, God.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah. You did. You took that picture, you piece of shit.
Yeah, posted said, Brian's in today, got the lids done. What are you going to do?
Now my name is Lids.
Are we supposed to ignore it? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I got a nose job and just came on different face.
Right. That's
We're like,
exactly
no,
right.
what's been up? Not much.
That's exactly right. That's how I feel about my
gotta get into
if
it.
I get a hair transplant.
My mom went in with Bryan to get her lids done.
B, let's take a little break because, dude, it's not Black Friday. It's on its semi-annual sale.
Well, I'm
Dude,
serious about my health. So do they have stuff for my health?
Not only do they have it, but
And my energy?
Yes, sure, dude. But on it usually gives you 10% off Alpha Brain. Dude, right now with the semi-annual sale,
10%.
you're getting 25% off Alpha Brain,
What?
10% off kettlebells, and up to 60% off other stuff.
60% off all the
Dude,
other
I'm
stuff.
telling you right now, fam, don't wait too long because the sale ends May 14th, all right?
Wait, they got supplements, fitness, nutrition, digital fitness, apparel. What?
Yeah, dude.
That's
we got it all.
crazy.
And the number one nootropic on the planet. We're talking about Alpha Brain.
Alpha Brain.
We got you covered, man. We got you
Black
covered.
label. Try the black label.
That's what, and I swear by the black label, they got the instant Alpha Brain. They got the concentrated shot. Get you on it right now. Go to onnit.com/FATK and you can get 25% off Alpha Brain, 10% off
Get into the
kettlebells,
zone.
6% off all
Flow
other things.
state.
It's on its semi-annual sale going on right now.
Exactly.
So you guys are good. Everything.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hustling on the road, doing stand up.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, just
Podcasting.
hustling through this
Golden
crazy
age.
world.
Have you been to Rogan's new place in?
He just called me and
Austin.
asked me to come and do a weekend there.
People love
That's
it.
good.
So I'll-
Yeah,
Oh,
it's supposed to
the
be-
comedians love it more than anybody.
Have you been?
I've not been. We go there all the time to do your mom's house. We do it in Austin, and I'm going to go next time we're down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
If you go
it's-
there and you're
people
sold
rave
out for
about
the
it.
weekend, no matter what. Like, it's
Yeah, I mean,
just-
I think he sold out like 9 months.
I have so much admiration for Joe Rogan, and I don't think he likes me. I gotta be
he
honest.
does.
Oh,
I
of
don't
course
think
he
so.
does.
No, I don't think so. We
I've
were
never heard him
we were
say
sort of friends at one time, and then and I've been in rooms with him, and I really watch my staff because I really admire him. I really admire him. I'm a fan, and everything he thinks he talks about and thinks about and talks about. I'm just always interested in what he's got. And by the way, I was so furious when his physician was questioned for what. Remember, the doctor put him on. Gave him
No, they call it, the CNN label it horse pills.
yeah, gave him horse pills. Gave him monoclonal antibodies. But he also gave him monoclonal antibodies.
Yes.
And gave him a NAD infusion.
Yes.
The really outlying treatment was the NAD infusion.
yeah.
That was incredible to me. And I said, Joe, that's amazing. How'd that work? Was it good? I didn't. That's between Joe and his doctor. Nobody should have an opinion about that.
Yep.
It is disgusting to me that people go, oh, what's that doctor? That's between the two of
the
them
world we live in.
only.
It became politicized.
Everybody became fucking Mrs. Kravitz. Everyone's
Yes.
looking out the curtains at everybody else. And
became
man,
that is
politicized.
not.
Man, did
that's-
Joe win
it's-
that battle.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
We should be disgusted by that. We should call it out.
Now we look at, well, even now, it still happens to people, but even, was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
You look at it now, like, can you believe that? And look at CNN who ran with the story. Look at the.
But look what happened.
They're screwed, man. Screwed.
There's a limit to what
Well,
you
there
can-
should be. They should.
Agreed.
They should be people. We have to tell people to fuck off. I'm sorry.
I agree.
People that have really been lying and hurt other people and doing awful things that need to be.
I worry about. What do you think about the lateral cooperation between big tech, pharmaceutical?
Okay, so we'll stop on that. But I just want to finish my story about
Yeah.
Joe. I did the foreword to Stanhope's book. And when he called me to do it, I thought Stanhope was punking me. I thought, wait, can't you Johnny Depp do it for you? Why
Yeah,
me?
it's his boy.
And no, I want you to do it. And I
That's
loved
really cool.
to do it. It was very cool. I recommend the book. I really, Fear and Loathing has got nothing
I bet.
on Stanhope.
Oh, Stanhope's a
Stanhope
legend.
is like,
Legend.
ooh.
I've read.
and
Fear
it scared
Loathing.
me.
That's
I love Doug and his wife, girlfriend, and it just scared me whenever I'm like, oh my God, Doug, I'm glad you're with us.
excessive.
But he was on Rogan, and Rogan, why don't you get a real doctor to write your thing? And I thought, oh, that's
Interesting.
What's going on? What do we? I think he got pissed. I heard he got pissed when I treated on Celebrity Rehab. I treated somebody for cannabis addiction, and that was offensive to him or something.
He's a big pro.
And I'm not.
guy.
I'm
You
not
know what, though?
anti-weed. I am not interested in. I'm not interested in legalizing. We got to get those people out of jail that were in jail for it. But it's a real drug. It has, especially in the concentrations we have now. I have family members that have been hurt by
Yeah,
it
you've personally
and addicted to it, and I've treated patients. Not everybody. I know a lot of
Listen,
people that use it every day.
I think Joe, and I've had this conversation with him. I just had this conversation with him. We were talking about marijuana, and I said, I can't smoke it. He goes, no, you can't. I go, no, listen to me.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I can't smoke weed.
Yeah.
It makes me a zombie. Because what I said to him is, I go, what was crazy is I watched you get up there and do an hour of stand-up, and you took a huge hit of weed beforehand.
I couldn't watch him do an hour stand-up
Dude,
if I had
know,
weed.
I know.
I couldn't let
And
him
he
do an hour
functions
stand-up.
better.
Yeah.
That's his chemistry. And I said, everybody's chemistry is different. And he knows that. He agreed.
Yeah.
He goes, everybody has different chemistry, and
Yeah.
some people react in a positive way. This guy, alcohol and weed, disaster for me. I don't do well. I can drink 2 glasses of wine, and I'm good. And by the way, I'm not going to function as well the next day. That's just me.
Yeah, but I'm not going to judge you off that.
No,
But you and I must be the same. Like if I have 2 glasses of wine and then have a glass of bourbon, I'm destroyed.
Right.
Just destroyed, and I'm miserable for the next
You
few
and I
days.
have a lot in common. We like Ukrainian women with curves and
What's your ethnic heritage?
Irish Italian.
Have you done 23andMe?
Take me to
Done it?
Ukraine.
Have you done
I did,
it?
I
Not
did.
right now.
I did. I was like, let me do my 23andMe. You know, it's not like you look at me and go, that guy's exotic as shit. That medium white guy, that high school athlete is exotic. You know, I mean, it's like, 51% Southern Italian. You know, the rest is
Everything
Irish.
else, yeah. Everything West.
Maybe some German.
So back to the cozy relationship between tech, pharmaceutical, and government. I am very concerned about it.
Yeah.
I was not aware of it before the pandemic. I am a apologist for pharmaceutical companies my whole career, because what do I do as a doctor, right? I either use my brain to counsel people and work in the sort of mental health field, or I prescribe a medication. That's it. I do not pick up a scalpel. I'm not a surgeon. I guess I could prescribe physical therapy and things like that, but I prescribe medication and I alter people's physiology when there's a pathophysiology. And I rely on the pharmaceutical industry to provide this for me.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
Nothing wrong with that.
They save a lot of lives.
The problem is, and believe me, when you get sick, you want these. I mean, if there was even a shortage, it's not good for patients. But what is problematic is, first and foremost, the cozy relationship between pharmaceutical executive structure and the FDA. There's a lot of back and forth of the same people.
Stops
and
competition, stops new
it
companies.
just biases things.
Yeah.
It just creates bias.
For profit.
For our pharmaceutical profit, but the bias is built into everyone's psychology, because I was biased in favor of pharmaceutical companies for a long time because I used them and I needed them, and I thought they were being unfairly sort of judged. I've changed my mind.
Really?
I'm
You
wrong.
have?
Because the pandemic exposed a bunch of stuff that had really been concerning, but my biggest concern is this piece.
Yeah.
That's the number one piece. And then you said big tech. I don't even fully understand that yet. I can't even. I mean, Elon Musk has pulled the top off. You can kind of look under the lid a little bit of the insanity that's going on there,
Right.
but I think there's more.
What do you? Can you kind of like? What are the kind of drugs that people don't realize save lives that we could never do without?
Everything. I take 2 antihypertensive drugs that I would have already had a stroke if I were not taken every day, and I'm going to live to probably 80 or something.
Yeah.
Just so many life-saving drugs. It's
Statins,
ridiculous. Statins you can
insulin.
argue about statins. Insulin.
What does it say about lipids and statins?
What is the TSA?
Peter Attia.
Oh, he.
Cholesterol.
It's complicated, right? Right. We're starting to get into the. It's not as clear cut as we once thought.
Yeah.
We're getting into the insulin story now and the LP(a) stuff, and there's a bigger story afoot with carbohydrates also. But we're doing a good job. We're making steady progress there. I'm on a statin also because I have horrible vascular disease in my family, terrible, and my coronary calcium score is 0.0, which is insane given my family history.
No calcium.
Nothing.
Have you had a heart scan? Let me see.
Yeah, thanks.
big
Dude.
boy,
Do you
big
do you
boy.
see a trend with young people with something new, like more as far as prescribing different medications, like for
psychopharma, the
antidepressants,
all the psychological, psychiatric
through the
meds
roof,
just
right?
way off,
And when I was a
way
kid, it
up.
was not a thing.
Why is that? Combination.
So the fundamental problem is I was raised by a family practitioner. My dad's a family practitioner, and he pounded into my head that medicines are dangerous. And by the way, a lot of my career, one part of my career was doing medical management of psychiatric patients in a psychiatric hospital. 85% of it was dealing with side effects of psychiatric medication, some of them serious. But he always pounded to me how dangerous medicines are. I had never taken an antibiotic until I was 16 or something, somewhere in that age. And I remember when he gave it to me, he was like, all right, here we go. We're crossing this big Rubicon. I mean, you're gonna, who knows what might happen to you with this ampicillin or amoxicillin, whatever it was. It was a big deal to him to prescribe a medication. And so that's in me. That's a bias in me. And so when I see how people think in terms of pills being solutions to everything, I'm gravely concerned about that. So that psychology needs to shift. Medicines are only useful when the risk is worth the benefit, or it's worth doing. The benefit is worth the risk, rather. And we're not in that mindset. And all the public health stuff we just went through with COVID, they weren't doing any risk reward analysis. Just stop this virus.
Yeah.
And destroy the world in the process, burn it all down. Is that's the
Talk
risk
about-
reward?
yeah.
But
it was so predictable that the mental health consequences would be spectacular.
Why'd the whole
than they
world
have
go
been.
along with those lockdowns? That's
Well,
the craziest.
It is the
question.
craziest thing for me to
The
think
whole
about
world
that, too.
was
The
like,
whole
okay.
effing world. Yeah. Well, I will tell you. I do a streaming show. My wife would kill me if I didn't bring this up. I do a streaming show at 3:00, generally Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday Pacific time. Though I'm doing one today at 3:00. That's why I have to get out of here.
What's it called?
Ask Dr. Drew. Maybe look that up there. And I'm going to interview Ed Dowd. Ed Dowd, you heard about his stuff yet?
No.
Ed Dowd is a financial statistical guy. And he has been reporting on vaccine side effects and other things. And he apparently has some groundbreaking data that's going to come out on my show this afternoon. I don't know what it is, but you look at all data skeptically. You look at everything carefully. I'm not prone to run from one side of the ship to the other, but there's a lot going on. So I've learned about the lockdown thing. So here's the broad strokes on the lockdown. Do you know anything about what happened?
No.
The broad strokes are, there was this growing, I noticed about 15 years ago that Masters in Public Health, MPH, was all of a sudden after all the doctors' names. And I kept thinking, why are you guys getting masters? You're going to practice medicine. Why do you need MPH? What is that? So we trained all these public health officials. Then they got together internationally and started having pandemic readiness, pandemic response policies, and really gigantic systems were developed. I call them Pandemic Inc. These things that just were going to be called into place as soon as the pandemic occurs. In other words, a giant hammer, we're going to nail it. We'll nail every time. Well, they had just done a war game, almost identical what happened. It's just a coincidence as far as I could tell. War gaming, what they were going to do. Now, they did not contemplate lockdowns. They'd been brought up many times, but everyone was like, they'll destroy everybody. Why would we do that? I mean, and what's it going to do? A respiratory virus? It doesn't do anything. You might slow it, but it will go. It just does. Well, China did a lockdown. The local government, it was so clearly a political maneuver. Do you remember the cars running down the street with the chlorine being squirted? That was all nothing. That was theater. But it was the local Soviet, effectively, the local Communist Party people, making sure that they showed the upper echelon that they were taking care of business and there would be no problem.
Boy Scouts.
They were going to take care of this. Don't worry, Mr. Xi, we got this. And they sent him a graph after the lockdown. And if you look up, I'll tell you, the graph just went essentially up and then flatlined. That's
fudging the data.
And that was for the entire country. Wow. Now, everybody now knows that was total BS, complete BS.
But the World Health Organization.
Well, everyone, our scientists went over there and was like, oh my God, look what they're doing in China. This is fantastic. They reported back to our people, well, we got to do this. They've shown that it works. Then Italy hit. This is the really interesting part of the story. A guy, Michael Sanger, researched this. And there were like several Lombardy. It was Lombard that was locked down. One of the Lombardy politicians who was the big lockdown advocate wrote a book after the lockdown. It was immediately pulled from the shelves because it was so ignominious. In the book, he said, I really didn't expect the lockdown to do anything from a public health standpoint. I didn't expect it to stop the virus, but I admire the way the Chinese do things, and we need to bring some of that over here, and this was my opportunity. It was strictly to bring a totalitarian system to bear on Lombardy. Then, when Italy did that, the rest of the world just followed.
Because they had so many people die.
And let's be fair, the federal government was starting to kind of try to back it down a little bit, and then the states went kablooey.
Yep.
The states went insane. California was insane here. This was ridiculous.
Nuts. Never seen that.
And there should be some accounting.
You know what I'm
for
thinking
this.
the whole time you're talking? Don't say too much. We're gonna get flagged.
Oh, for YouTube. Yeah.
I'm literally-
You won't.
That's the world
Already
we
you
live
said
in.
the I word that you'll get flagged just for that.
Said what?
You said the name of medication that YouTube will shut you down for just saying the name of that.
We're not, there's no way we can edit out. We're gonna get flagged.
No, you can edit out in with. Yeah.
I know we can, but I'm
do
saying
that one just to be safe.
Okay, fine.
You
Don't
said
do
it
that
again
with
now.
people.
You have to do it again now.
Yeah, he knows to do this, but do that one just to be safe.
Yeah, because that's what we get flagged for, and we always put up a banner that says, CDC says.
That screws you too.
No, they actually go with that.
Really, they're cool.
Yeah, they're cool with that. Listen, I'm fine to toe the party line, but I want us to be able to talk about everything.
Yeah, we shouldn't be silent.
And by the way, I'm talking to other
physicians.
physicians and things. The physicians aren't allowed to talk about it.
That's where it gets dicey. Like,
is
why are they
deciding
suppressing this? You know what I'm saying? It's like just because we're having an
Top
open
down.
conversation about it.
Because
I didn't want to suppress it.
I thought I lived in a country where you're allowed to talk.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's very strange.
Did you ever read Democracy in America? You mentioned to Tocqueville earlier. Did you read Democracy in America? Okay. So one of the things he said was that even though we have the greatest sort of declaration of privileges of free speech in the law, in practice we had some of the least, because the town square, people would shame you and suppress you so thoroughly.
That's right. I will say that the battle over free speech has been a reality, and I'll give you something both of you probably haven't thought about, and I didn't until I heard about. I remembered it. Remember that we always like our speech is being stifled. Lenny Bruce in 1962 did 4 months in jail for word crimes. He was a stand-up comic, and in New York they arrested him. They put him in jail for 4 months for violating obscenity laws.
Yes.
And that was 1962. He was speaking the wrong way on a stage. They cuffed him and put him in jail. And Governor Pataki pardoned him recently. My buddy Ronnie Marmo is doing a one-man show of Lenny Bruce, and he wrote this op-ed piece that I read recently. And you forget these things. We've come a ways.
Well, the free speech, as we currently think of it, is a relatively new thing. That kind of real free speech.
Yeah, man.
It really started after the First World War, apparently. At that point, you weren't allowed to say anything against the government.
That's right. People forget
but
these
there were
things.
people saying the war was a bad idea.
Well, during wartime, there are these special provisions.
Yeah.
During wartime, it's like if you start, it's almost, and there was one of the things that they passed in World War II. You cannot show dead soldiers' bodies on TV because
That's
it affects the morale of people.
But when it comes to this, that's what makes me perk up. It's like, why are you suppressing this information? If I'm just questioning it, we get suppressed. Well, what are you so scared of? That's when I'm like, what's going on?
But it might be, Bubba. It might be private companies. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think private companies like Twitter
Also scared.
They are scared of lawsuits. They're scared of misinformation. They're trying to do their
They're
part
scared of
too.
cancellation.
Yes, it's
Well, hold
a
on,
weird thing.
hold on. You're giving too much of an easy out. If they're scared of that, then
Small finger,
why
big
then
hand.
then why would they?
What does that mean?
Then why would they take money? Hold on, hey, for reals.
sorry.
So that doesn't work for me. You're giving too much of an easy out because Twitter, we know, was in bed with the White House and the left, and suppressing the right and
I would say
monitoring
yes,
the right.
Bubba. I'm just trying to say.
No, we know this for a fact.
No,
This isn't up for debate.
What I always try to do is kind of go. So Jack Dorsey is a libertarian, right? But I think what happened was the pressure on everyone to make sure that they weren't being hijacked by very, very sophisticated propagandists, whether they were in some troll farm in Eastern Europe or in this country, right? Because there was a lot of that going on both sides. And I think when you're a public platform like Twitter, it becomes, and you have so little few people with that many people doing it, it becomes really hard to manage. One of the reasons that, I'm going to get flack for this, but one of the reasons that law enforcement gets involved in Twitter and stuff like that is because there is a lot of nefarious activity on those platforms that they have to investigate. There just is.
But then should you only silence one side?
Well,
if you're trying to do what's best for just the nation, would you only suppress one side or would you do both?
You should always
if you're concerned about lawsuits and stuff,
yeah, you should
would you
always
suppress both?
You should always do both. But it also, it seems to be, I keep bringing Trump back into this because Trump was the real lightning rod. Yeah. Trump took this country and just atomized it.
Yeah.
Trump came along and there were so many people.
Do you have a theory why that happened? It's so,
yes.
Why?
I think
it was so weird to watch. I was like, when he was coming in, I did a show on HLN every night, and I brought in a bunch of Trump supporters, and I was like, what do you see in this guy? Like, why are we doing this?
He was impossible to predict.
Yeah.
He was a guy who most people understood was a television personality, great at branding, and had a history of aggrandizement, and in some ways a charlatan in that he was just very good at pumping the
showboating. Yeah.
But also he didn't fit the narrative like most politicians don't do anything. Like, well, at least he's different.
Well, he also
maybe he'll get it.
Well, that's what they were thinking.
I actually think Trump had a reasonable command in some ways of a foreign policy and of the economy and of how politics works because he was involved in all of these things, right? So I'm always going to lean toward a businessman who's been in the marketplace and stuff like that. But I think that overall, he said certain things that felt unhinged. Let me give you a couple examples.
Many things,
yes.
but he kept doing it.
Yes.
That's the
his delivery is his problem.
Well, some people liked his, what they liked is they didn't like his character. They didn't like his narcissism. They didn't like who he was as a person, but they loved that he was giving Washington the finger because Washington had failed most people. You know, at the end of Obama's term, the average Americans, they may have owned their house, but they had $500, $1,000 in the bank. That's it.
Yeah.
Most Americans don't have a cushion. Most Americans, when it comes down to sending their kids to baseball or choosing more food on the table, that's a real that's a thing. Yeah. And I think when you have somebody come along and goes, "Hey, how's it been going for you guys?" And more importantly, does your government represent you? Do you think that your vote actually matters? And all of us go, "Not at all." And along comes this guy who's making fun of Jeb Bush and all these Washington.
So I get that part. Then why the incredible reaction? Like
you can grab him by the pussy. You can grab him. That started the Me Too movement. You can grab him by the pussy and they say nothing.
Yes, it did.
I don't know how many women came out against him. He was rewarded when he won the presidency for that. If you come from a Muslim country, I say, Donald Trump, I'm putting a freeze on all Muslims coming into this country until we figure out what the hell is going on. I remember going, that's not American. I have a huge problem with that, and a lot of people were cheering. And
it's his scariness then.
He seemed like a classic authoritarian,
and they don't know what move he's going to make.
Yeah, but he also seemed fiercely uninformed.
I get that
in a lot of ways.
Yes. Okay, so that starts to make sense to me. Like they think he's a boorish dummy who has unlimited potential to do un-American style interventions that are harmful.
He also went bad on
the
deep state. He also went bad on our institutions. He went bad on our military. He made fun of John McCain, who was so I'm a conservative. I'm way more right than I am left. I'm in the middle, but I'm right of center, I suppose.
Depends which way the wind.
It's hard to tell now. I thought I was a liberal, and the whole frame shifted.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
I thought I was a libertarian.
Right.
I thought I was libertarian. Then I thought, I'm not that either.
They moved the goal.
I'm probably Democrat heavy, Republican light. You know, that's kind of somewhere. Most of us are. Most of us, if you look at all, tell me what is the issue?
Yeah.
But I had, because I had spent time in New York, and because Trump to me is very funny. I find him endlessly entertaining.
Yes.
And there was a lot that I couldn't help but to like about just his general, he's a walking fuck you to the establishment.
But you could laugh
at it. I was afraid of him.
Yeah, me too.
Look, Barr, did you see what Barr said?
Yeah, I know. I did see that. That was amazing.
When Barr said that if you back Trump's policies, in other words, if you agree with his political modus operandi, he's the last guy to ever have implement them because he has absolutely no ability to follow a thought through. He's constantly distracted. It's a horror show. He is, too many people who worked for him came out and said, the guy is the loosest of all loose cannons.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
he
what
was
free
literally,
people
when
are.
he said, we want to kill terrorist families.
Yeah.
It's
insane.
against the
but
Geneva
here's the
Yeah.
problem is, you look at next year in the elections, it's like, all right, we have Trump, that has his issues, and then Biden it's like, these are our two options.
We'll get that. We'll always get that as long as we don't vote
You
in the
guys,
primaries.
I like some of the stuff that RFK Jr. is saying.
Agree.
He's
he
saying
has
some
he has
things.
a throat problem is the problem.
I know him. I've interviewed him.
No, he had surgery on it, so it's better.
He's better.
better.
He's better. His speech is going to be his oration is a problem. DeSantis has a problem with oration. His voice is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And but RFK is saying stuff that a lot of it's way over his skis. Like I don't necessarily. But
He's
some
not
of
going
it's
to win though, right? I think
I
he's
just like
just
that
to
he's
run the
mixing
message.
it up.
Yes.
Who is this?
RFK. Yeah.
RFK's mixing it up.
I like guys that mix it up and get and
Makes you think about things.
correct. That's what I like.
political
He's not going to
insiders-
win, but I like that
Yeah.
he's mixing it
But
up.
political insiders just chuckle about this. All the political people who follow us, they look at us, we're talking, they go like this, they go, it's adorable. And they change, you know what?
Hold on. Those are the same people that chuckled when we said Trump was
No,
going to
I'm
win.
going to tell you why they're chuckling. Because they chuckle and they go, they don't vote in the primaries, so it doesn't matter. So as long as you don't vote in the primaries, and none of us do, you will always have
I'm independent. Yeah, I'm registered
you will
independent.
always have
Maybe I'll
candidates
register
you
as-
can't stomach.
I'll register as a Democrat. That's what
You
I'm
have
gonna
to.
do.
Because
you can
because-
change every 10 minutes in California.
I know.
Yeah.
You can, but if you don't vote for the candidates that mean something,
Yeah.
DeSantis will never beat Trump because the mobilized, energized, fanatical wing of the party, they are the ones that decide who the candidate is.
Yep.
Jesus.
And
I just like RFK. He's a good time. And the info, too. It's like he's just making people aware of things that most people are not aware of.
Exactly.
That's why I like it.
and think about it. And think
I know he's not
about
going to win, but it's good that you
Yeah.
guys need to know this.
Yeah, he's
We
a
should tune
smart
into him.
guy, too. He's so
Wicked
brilliant.
smart.
but I think we're going to get to a point where presidents are figureheads and they don't matter.
They kind of. I always thought they
Biden
didn't.
matters now?
There you go.
No.
He's a
Brian, I
puppet.
thought they already didn't. I remember when Clinton got elected. Okay, and I thought, oh man, the guy's an alcoholic. I could tell right away. and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be terrible.
Was he an alcoholic? Is that why his nose was so red?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And sex addict. alcoholic.
Brilliant guy, though.
But one of my favorite presidents of my lifetime.
man.
And so I learned two things. A, you put as long as they're good administrators, I don't care what's going on psychiatrically with them, put them in there. And number two, it doesn't really make that much difference.
The founding fathers,
it really
the founding
does.
fathers knew that.
Yeah.
It's called checks and balances. The
Yeah.
great genius is that no power, it's not about a bicameral legislation. The greatest genius of the founding fathers and our government is that power can never reside in one group's hands.
And yet it feels like right now,
That's
at least
the biggest-
socially, that's the part I like least about the present moment. It feels like there's a willful suppression of other people's, so again, Phil talked about that too. Hey, you like her?
A lot.
Pointing at Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly's great.
I'm attracted to her.
So Adam Carolla declared her his perfect woman.
Me too.
Yeah,
Dude,
you're in there with her.
Dude, I said it yesterday.
she's awesome.
My wife is my perfect woman. That's
If your wife were never born,
Yeah.
it'd be Megyn Kelly.
I would.
If your wife didn't listen to this podcast, yes.
If my wife didn't listen to this podcast, which she doesn't,
Yes.
that's my girl. Is she single? Tell me she's not single.
No.
No,
She has
hell,
kids.
no, she got taken.
She's
She's
great.
a-
She's
She's
not a free
she's-
agent, B.
But
How old
she's
is she's so hot.
I don't. She's
signed a max
unknowable.
deal.
Unknowable, dude.
But she is one of my favorite people. Forget just women.
52. Sign me up. Sign me up to the youngster. I'm 56. Look at her.
She looks 35.
What are we doing?
That's her, man.
Ah, man. Don't ever. I would fight you right now with your cauliflower ears. I would take the.
Why me? I'll fight him.
I don't know, dude. I'm jacked up right now.
She's doing in those pictures.
Oh,
by
who
the
needs
way.
coffee when you can just stare at her face?
Her hair is
She's
fantastic.
smart with that
I like
voice.
her with the short hair there.
Look at her in high school. Look at that, or whatever that is,
Where?
college or something. Nick, there, it's hysterical.
By the way,
wow.
By the way, that's when
Talk
you know.
about a glow up.
Bring her up when she's 13.
But it's still funny.
Yeah. No, she
good
was
for her.
better now. Better now.
Yeah, high school was rough.
I like my peers, by the way. I like older women a lot. I you know what I mean? I like.
A little experience, a little wisdom.
By the way,
I
Bubba,
just
you know
like
what's funny about that? Older women. She's like 13 years your junior. It's like,
Oh, I know.
you know what I mean? That's how I feel. I'm like, my buddy was dating somebody who's 42 and I'm 56, and I was like, and he's 55, and I was like, she's only 16 years younger than you.
I mean, when you were graduating high school, she was born.
I
She was
dance,
2.
I would dance my ex-wife and make my everybody would laugh so hard because she was 11 years younger, and I was like, oh, you're 40?
Yeah.
But she's
No, Yeah, I just lie. I'm 64, man. I'm older than all you
How
guys.
the hell
You look great.
She's 63, and she looks. She's like she ages backwards, and she's like a flux capacitor. She can eat and drink anything, and it just only gets better. Everything gets
Wow.
better.
She's Ukrainian.
She's Czech,
Well, there
which
you
I think
go.
is the refined version of Ukrainian.
Hottest.
Hamza.
I think they went over the.
No.
Oh, he's Chechnya,
Chechnya.
right? Oh, close. Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
You know what
But
I'm
yeah,
saying.
I know what you mean. I know what
Good
you're saying.
genetics.
It's good genetics.
It's good genetics, man.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
Well, we know you got to
genetics.
go, brother. It's 12:45. I don't want you to be late.
Oh, well, it's a few more minutes.
Really?
Come on,
Good?
man. I
Yeah,
like
you
it,
want-
dude.
You want to do
Wait,
some
wait a minute.
events, Jen?
I gotta be on.
You'll
look
make
at
it.
Waze. Let me see how long
You'll
it's gonna
make
be
it.
to get
You'll
home.
make it.
Let me-
Pasadena?
Yeah, just double check the traffic.
You got time.
Pasadena, I bet it's 40 minutes.
We'll go to 1. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think one will be fine.
Yeah, 40 minutes, right? Pasadena.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's.
Got some mustard colored pants on.
Not me, him.
Talking about khaki?
Is that what that is?
They're kind of a little dark, a little browny, mustardy to
little
be
brownish.
khaki.
Little mustardy,
Khaki's a
bub.
little lighter, right?
Got some
You
mustard
know,
going
brown
on.
pants.
Got
I
your
thought
mustard.
just you and I were gay. I thought it was-
He's the gayest guy
Oh
in
no,
the
I'm the
room,
gayest
man.
guy here. I'm a gay man.
Oh no, I'm good. This is good.
Yeah.
We're
No, I'm.
What is the show? 40 minutes, bud?
about an hour to get home.
Oh, okay.
No, nobody admires masculine pulchritude like.
Are you
Brian's into black guys.
I mean, relax, but I mean, I find I want to look like a black athlete.
Wouldn't that be
obviously.
nice?
Yeah.
Do you like musicals?
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoy musical, man.
This is the
He's
gayest
gay.
trio of
No, we're all gay.
podcasting.
We're all gay.
Let's
we're all
get a
gay.
timeshare and fuck each other.
I'm going to Palm Springs in a couple weeks.
Dude, I love Palm Springs.
Dude, Brendan, can I tell the story about the bathroom here?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Well, it's me and Brendan and Leah.
It's Dalia Air Group. It's all
Eric
comics. We're having a
Griffin. We're all
good
comics.
time.
We're in the bathroom. We're peeing.
This one down the hall
Yeah,
here.
we're peeing.
But
talking shit.
we're doing bits in the hallway here before, like just joking around.
joking
Yeah.
around, and we're just in a heightened, silly mood.
Everyone's pissing in the
And
bathroom.
a man walks in who's every bit of 6'5", maybe 6'6", and he's obviously a professional volleyball player. Blonde. He's everything you think of as a Viking.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only,
He's like a
the only
Disney
missing is a
prince.
long
Yeah, okay.
Handsome-
Disney Prince. Thank you.
Disney Prince, yeah.
Thank you.
I was trying to help
Thank
you
you.
out. Yeah,
Disney
please.
Prince walks in his J. Crew outfit, and I instinctively, because I'm gay, I go, well, that's the best looking guy in this bathroom by far. And he goes, oh, thanks, man. He's a dude. He goes, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
And now he's standing at the urinal and he's pissing with his
Uh-oh.
impossibly
Silence.
long
It
legs.
was awkward.
You guys
And-
are going around
And
to.
Brendan just out of nowhere
Oh,
goes,
no.
let's fuck him. And you'd expect the guy to go like this, go, ah. And the guy goes, I just hear him mutter, oh.
And he darts out. And I looked around. I
And I
went,
go like this. I don't know what to say. So I go, sorry, my friend's weird. And
I went, man, that joke bombed.
That's
Friends into
bomb.
rape.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, you
It
know,
did not go well.
yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
It was great.
Should we get a call
Did you
from
find the
H?
guy to apologize to him for
We
real?
will. He's probably a great, he's a
will.
dude. He's a
How long ago
dude.
was this?
He's
Last
a dude.
week.
He won.
Oh,
He's
no.
already won. Yeah, so we're waiting. No, he's fine.
Did you go on the board and see if there's any volleyball companies really?
So we can watch him with his shirt off. Dr.
Yeah,
Drew.
How do you guys end up
Brendan
out here,
Schaub.
by the way?
So I live over here.
Okay.
And then I have to do 4 shows here. And then, during the pandemic.
You know,
Because
maybe when people go to Austin like I do.
Nope.
yeah, that's
Brendan
another-
Brendan has allowed me to be very lazy. Brendan has this ability to be consistently grinding. Like he can take care of. He'll be like, you start a podcast. We have the studio now. He handles all the business.
Oh well, shit. We are going to do that pillow talk for a night
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
say
yeah,
we're
let me
going because
know.
I have unlimited capacity for work. I can just
me
keep
too.
going.
Yeah, nonstop.
And I love it. I really makes me kind of. I am.
And then when I get
workaholic.
stressed, I
really
have psoriasis now, which maybe you could tell me something about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just so stressed. I mean, it's autoimmune disease. It's actually getting better.
Do you have any joint issues? Let me see your
No,
fingers.
no, zero.
That's what you got to watch out for. Is if you start getting
Psoriatic
stuff in
arthritis.
there. Yeah.
What do you mean stuff?
Any inflammation?
Oh,
or
no,
anything in
It's
there?
psoriatic arthritis.
No,
And
nothing.
psoriasis, are you using just topical stuff, or are they giving you something?
No, I was looking at the shot,
Yeah.
but my insurance didn't cover because it's so expensive. So then I started doing the cream as whatever. I just changed my diet.
You know what? Also,
and
is
fired some people.
UV clears it right up too.
Exactly. I ride my bike with my shirt off and short shorts.
Yeah.
I think firing.
Super
I
gay.
think firing.
Super
Super
gay,
gay.
dude. I gotta
With no
see this.
spots, baby.
I think
I gotta see this.
It was a
Hey,
lot of-
Doc, what do you think? Why are your nuts hanging out? All right, what do you got, Jen?
Oh, just a quick question. Why is it inflammation in the joints? Why is that a thing?
I don't know the biology to answer that accurately, but generally the way these things happen is there's just cross reactivity. So the immune system goes a little haywire and starts attacking the skin. There's some antigen or something on the surface of the cells there they're seeing that looks similar to something on the joints, and so they start destroying the joints. It's bad. It's active. It's a nasty one.
Yeah, no joke,
whenever if you look up psoriatic arthritis hands, just put a picture up there.
Psoriatic arthritis.
PSO, psoriatic
Look like the king of England's hands. You've seen
arthritis.
his
Yeah,
hands?
and
In the joints?
hands, and then just put a video. Oh, geez, we don't.
These are some crazy ones.
God, we used to see this so much. Now we have so much good treatment. That cartoon is actually more like down.
The
this one
blue
here?
cartoon, yeah.
Yeah, that cartoon is actually what we see all the time. Damn. But we have so many good
Jerry
treatments
Rice's
now that we don't see that so much.
Wow.
anymore.
Yeah, it's bad.
No, yeah, I don't have that, thank God.
Yeah,
I've been having like random joint pain. It doesn't go away either. Recently.
In your pinky?
right there in the middle.
Yeah, the pinky right here.
Just that joint.
That one, and then like my elbows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you'd first really what you would do is, I mean, it can be a million different things, right? If you got any diarrhea lately, that can cause that kind of stuff. No, and if you would get just a basic evaluation and make sure it's not gout, any gout in your family,
Not their nose.
because it's called oligoarticular arthritis, asymmetric single joint pain that sometimes ends up being gout. Something called pseudo gout that can do the same thing. And then, almost anything in your system can cause joint pain. So you want to get a general checkup.
Maybe
Make
book
sure.
an appointment. You can do it on your
Yeah.
own time.
I was
We have Dr.
allergic to
Drew on
night-
the side.
kidding.
Yeah,
No,
night-
Drew,
I
my
was
dick's
allergic
not
to nightshades.
working.
I stopped doing nightshades. I lost all my stiffness in 1 week.
Well, but that's not. He's having specific joint.
And it just has not gone
inflammation.
away. That's the thing.
And you
it came out
probably
of
just
nowhere.
you probably just jammed it or something. Probably just actually a mechanical thing, or you're doing something you're not aware
It
of.
probably affects your brain too, because he scored the fight for Henry Cejudo over the weekend.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, you're sick in the head.
Speaking of fights,
what'd he say?
I'm trying to get to the fight that we watch the fights. That video, your pod.
Oh, the
video.
fight campaign. Yeah, I heard Tom reached out to
I
you.
want to do that so badly, but I don't think I can make this next one. So,
Yeah, but we'll find one.
There's a bunch,
All right.
Yeah, we'll find. Yeah, we do a bunch.
all right, Brian,
Be
do
fun,
those?
though.
I love it.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
We do it with Rogan and Eddie Bravo and
Corolla's coming to one too. He told me.
Yeah, Crow's gonna do one. I think we have Corolla.
I don't know if he knows that much about MMA, but he knows boxing.
He knows boxing,
Yeah.
but we have people on there that know shit about fighting. It's just a good time, and I'll cover the.
Just another gay
I'll
guy.
cover when it comes to
Just another gay
fight.
friend.
When it comes to
need
fight
another
X
gay
and
man.
O's.
By the
yeah.
way, and I hope people don't take offense to us. We're not doing this, pejoratively.
No,
you know
we're
what I
just
mean?
saying we're gay.
We just are that. We're just this way.
No, yeah, I can't
this is
help
not
it,
to
man.
belittle
My-
anybody
my
who
joke-
actually is.
yeah.
It's just we have features that suggest.
Well,
it.
my joke is if I see an insanely muscular man, like somebody like we go to the On It things, we see black football players, players working out without a shirt on, and do I want to have sex with them? No. If I had to rub them down in oil,
Something could happen.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not. gonna
Brian's the worst to
protest.
fly with. Like an athletic black dude gets on plane. Brian goes, "What sport you play?" I'm like, dude, you have no idea. You are how
racist.
racist.
That is
I'm a
so
benevolent
racist.
racist. Benevolent
What are you, a
racist.
football player? He's like,
So-
what?
so-
No, I work for Rematch.
My wife used to date black
I'm a
athletes in college.
neurosurgeon.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, dude.
So
That's
I would
exactly
always
right.
I'd see a black guy. Oh,
That's what this black guy emailed me. We're talking about racism. He goes, "Hey, dude, you're missing the point. I'm a doctor. When I walk into a room, I'm an athletic-looking guy. I have to overcome a whole bunch of assumptions.
yes.
You don't have to." And I was like, fair enough.
I used to. When I was early in my career, I was bigger, and they used to want to turn me into an orthopedic surgeon because all the orthopedic surgeons were big white guys then.
Yeah.
That's who they were. And I liked the cognitive stuff much more, and so people had trouble with that. They were
Right,
kind of
right.
surprised.
You
by it.
look like a.
had-
But it brings up a really interesting topic as long as we're having these kind of heady discussions today, which is, and I bring this up with Corolla, and he shoots me down every time. But
Dude, you're
there's-
jacked.
That was me back then.
Look at the body on him.
damn.
Those are some arms.
But
dude.
I was younger. I was bigger still.
Jesus.
I could lift a lot of weight.
Man.
That back
Mine
to
has
this.
an erection.
I know. I got to be careful. I'm going to the bathroom afterwards. You wanna meet me
Something to
there?
do for huge dicks. You got a drug for this.
This thing's
shit,
all
though?
swollen,
I got a
Dr.
dick.
Drew.
I mean, I'm straight, but what's with my dick? Every time I look at a picture of you, hey, you a doctor of love?
We're actually going too far.
Back to being heady.
We are
Back to being
actually-
heady. Sorry, back to being heady.
So back to you being a racist is that is that I really believe that the term white supremacist has been misallocated, misused, because how am I going to tell this story? I was hearing people seeing white supremacy everywhere and talk about white supremacy. I'm like, what? I don't see it. Where are they? I've treated skinheads. Only time I've seen real white supremacist skinheads are either in prison or in recovery, and they're being healed. They go through it and come out the other side. Yeah. That's the only place I've ever seen those guys. And then I started thinking about it. Then I started reading some biographies of Frederick Douglass. In his words, like scales fell from my eyes. He called in one of his early speeches, not early speeches, in this particular biography, it was an early speech that I read. He was consecrating it was essentially the 13th Amendment, the monument in Washington. Right. And he got up, he goes, "You guys don't want me to give a speech?" I go, No, we really do. Go, "No, you don't." No, he gave it. And he said, Abraham Lincoln, great guy, did great things, white supremacist. And I was like, like clutching my pearls.
He said that about
Abe Lincoln, a white supremacist. I get that he was a racist till he kind of came around, but he's always, still you think he's a white supremacist? And then I started really listening to these guys and thinking a lot about it. And really what's being described is exactly what we've just been talking about, frankly, which is sort of this white-centric, Eurocentric perspective. Like it's a biased priority. We prioritize naturally, we're humans, and we do that.
Well, it's not just that, Drew. It's also that we were a culture and a country founded by.
I get it.
And so a culture will orchestrate itself around that expression.
Understood. And so I feel like it's our job to pay attention. That's all you got to do is pay attention.
So all you say is when a black guy comes on plane, go, "Hey, rap for me."
Guys, I want to say this. I'm against slavery. So I'm against racist
I'm saying
slavery.
Bryan ought to use the N-word much more. I think things would go much better for him.
It'll go a lot better.
Let's see what happens.
I'm against it.
But I really do think we all have responsibility to it. And I've been saying this on Adam and Drew podcast, and people are pushing back on me like, "Oh, no, they're really talking about real white supremacists." I go, no, I think they're just asking us to pay attention.
And what's Adam saying?
And we should do that. He doesn't really get what I'm saying.
So white supremacy, like as
it's like Eurocentrism or something.
Well, it's used academically, is the idea that so they call Larry Elder a white supremacist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what they mean is this, and I disagree with this. I've read Ibram Kendi's terrible book called How to Be Anti-Racist. I've read everything that Ta-Nehisi Coates has written.
Read Frederick Douglass. Just read Frederick Douglass. He'll solve all our problems.
Frederick Douglass. Now, Frederick Douglass also was born a slave.
Yeah.
And living in a very different time, and he's dead on. But I think that if you look at and I've read a lot of the critical race theorists. I like to read the people.
I read it too.
And there's some interesting scholarly stuff in there. But what I think that the reason they say Larry Elder, you're black, you're white supremacist.
Whiteface of blackface white supremacy.
Because the idea would be that as long as you profit from and in the American system, and as long as you are in any way advocating anything other than the destruction of the American institutions and systems, you're a white supremacist. I am violently opposed to that.
That's where it goes too far for me.
It is insurrectionist to me
and
treasonous, and they're so dumb. These academics are so fucking dumb. Where's my camera? Their scholarship is anemic at best and laughable. They've done no reading. They just have opinions.
You sound like Camille Paglia.
I am.
She talks like that all the time.
And I've read Camille Paglia. Yeah. But I read Camille Paglia in 1991. But it's just.
You should listen to her talk now.
I have.
She attacks the post-structuralists.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's the concepts like feminism, like racism, like individualism were invented by the very people that they are railing against.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to me. Like, do you know who the biggest abolitionists were who led the anti-slavery movement, everyone? Do you know who spent more money on anti-slavery initiative, enforcing anti-slavery? The British Navy. The British Navy, spearheaded by what you and I would consider the evangelicals. Now, don't take my word for it. Take the word of a black scholar named Thomas Sowell. Read a book called White Liberals and Black Rednecks, or Black Rednecks and White Liberals. It's a great book. But so that's the main thing to keep in mind. The African slave trade was kept alive by Africans and Arabs. And more slavery was going east than it was going west.
Drew.
Well, I need to turn this shit over.
Yeah, Drew.
And by the way, macadamia nuts from South Africa. We work with farmers.
South Africa is super white.
Fuck, dude. I go a little crazy.
I'm not sure with all this you're going to be able to ingratiate the black men you like to date.
Yeah,
but you
I
have to
don't
kind of
know. No, I see
what you're doing there.
No, I'm not.
And don't fetishize black men either, by the way.
I'm far from
don't
prejudice.
fetishize them.
No, I would never, or sexualize. No, I believe in human potential, and I believe in equality of opportunity. And
equality of opportunity and just equity amongst ourselves, that we all treat each other with absolute respect. And
I like
dignity.
what? I like the idea. Somebody said, who was it? Who said, I'm a communist with my family, I'm a socialist with my town, I'm a Democrat with my city, and I'm a Republican with the world, or something like that.
That was me.
Yeah, that was you.
me.
That was you, buddy. That was you.
Give us some current events, Jen. What do you have to get out of here?
I shouldn't have stayed so long.
I know.
You think you got canceled on YouTube? There's many more
We've
levels
all
of
lost our-
cancellation.
yeah,
There we
coming.
go.
Let's keep it
It is
going.
102 though, so you good? Sure.
I'm still good.
Come on, man.
Five more minutes. Five
Yeah,
more minutes.
knock these
See if
out.
Can we? Yeah, let's do this.
Brian, I have a big question.
we're not sure
What
what
is
this
going
is.
on in this video?
All right.
I just need.
Play it for Drew.
You know, when you said you were going on Crowder, I thought more. You know, I thought you'd be doing like some real good work.
Okay, so
Do we know who the players are here at all?
One's Brian.
That's counting the
well, first of all, that guy should have been hitting me harder.
That's
That's Darius who should have been hitting me harder. I can explain.
Darius?
I know I'm 56 in a cow suit. Now listen, there was an ad for Good Rancher. They make great beef, and
it's an advertisement on
Whatever you're going to say
Crowder.
next
and
doesn't
Steve-
matter.
I know. Steven said,
At 56, did you think you'd be doing this kind of acting?
he goes, well, I don't believe in divorce, so I'd probably be home resolving and strengthening my relationship.
Who decided? Who was
No,
called?
Crowder
was
didn't
it?
say that. That's a.
No, I know. That's it.
Whose
That's it.
call was it? You're supposed to be saying moo. Was that an acting choice or was that a directing
So he
choice?
said, we have a cow suit and you're supposed to be a naughty cow. And I said to Steven, say no more. And then I did that. And maybe it was a little out. Well, you know what? My kids are going to see this and I should be ashamed of myself.
Yes, you should.
It kind of fell flat. I apologize.
It's not very gay.
It's not gay enough.
It's really not.
Speaking of gay.
As a gay man, I'm not
Yeah,
attracted
I'd like a
to
little more
this.
diversity too. Man. That's
Yes,
my
I know,
problem,
right?
man.
And
Two
animal
whites?
activists.
Yeah, two
Yeah.
whites and a cow.
He could be Italian, Arabic.
Guys wearing
he could be
leather.
others. That's a hell of a beard.
Big guy, yeah.
What else you got, Jen?
Apologize, America.
This one was in Australia. Some woman, apparently she was out for just a quick little trip by herself. Didn't bring much supplies.
Yeah.
And then she got stuck in the mud and she was missing for 5 days. Her family's worried about her. So she survived off of lollipops and a bottle of wine. And she doesn't drink.
That's my mom's diet. Just kidding, mom.
So if that had been 2 weeks, I would have been like, say no way. But 5 days, no
yeah,
problem.
5 days,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you
no
know
water
what?
though.
But
The
the
main
wine-
thing is the main
Lollipops
reason
and
she
wine.
survived is the wine.
Well, you don't want to go near the water because they're nothing but Crocs.
Yeah. And
Where
God
was
knows
it
what
at?
else.
Australia, somewhere in Australia, in the
So a
bush.
friend of mine got stuck in Cabo after the hurricane. Remember the big hurricane like
Yeah.
8 years ago? And they couldn't get out. Everything shut down. No water. And they had to they filled their bathtub with water before the hurricane, drank that immediately.
Yep.
And from the rest of the I think they were down there for a week.
Margarita mix?
Yeah, alcohol they just stole from all over the hotel and just everyone survived on alcohol.
Just hammered the
They were
entire
drunk
time.
the whole time, but had to keep drinking alcohol to stay hydrated.
Jesus.
Damn.
And you're sort of behind, right? Because it's also a diuretic at the same time. So it's yeesh.
I think Everclear will actually, if you dilute it with water, it actually you can drink it.
Work as a
Yeah, you can. It'll hydrate you, but it also get you drunk. I mean, it's
It's like the strongest alcohol,
it's
right?
the strongest alcohol.
Put in your car.
But there aren't those tablets you can put in, those iodine tablets that'll kill off everything.
do you know I did the Special Forces thing in the desert last year?
Oh my
Look up Special Forces.
Oh, was that with Rudy Reyes?
Yes,
That's my boy.
Rudy was great.
That's my boy.
And
You did like a day in
I was supposed to be longer than a day. And
Here?
yeah, that's me. Oh, there's the group.
Oh, dude, that's great.
We
Was it
went
really
in-
hard?
There's
There's Rudy. Look at my boy Rudy.
There's Rudy in the middle. And it was 120 degrees, and they kicked our. We drove out of helicopters backwards. We did
What?
all kinds of stuff. I think that's me.
Shit, dude.
And we did just.
Did you break your neck?
No, we did.
It
all
was
kinds
real
of
shit,
crazy-
though.
It was real shit in 120 degree heat with 40-pound packs. It was brutal, and you didn't see any producers. You just saw your staff, And within 3 days, 6 of us were in the hospital.
What?
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was in the ICU next day.
You were?
Yeah, I
was
got
that much?
heat stroke and dehydration.
Did some people make it through it?
Yeah, look up. That's me. The crazy picture of me on the gurney. Nope, down one.
Well,
There.
you're not.
Look at that.
You're
That's me.
not trained for that. You're an.
Well, I trained my ass off to get ready
but
for
you're an
it.
older
What
man like
happened?
me.
97 years old.
I know. I look dead there.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
But I mean, but that's for young. That's for like 30-year-old,
Yes.
20-year-old.
let me see
guys.
the picture of the group, Chin. I mean, I like the
That-
So wait,
diversity.
you lasted
Oh, it was
one
great.
day.
It was a great group. We're all we're all great friends now.
You lasted one day.
One day, and a couple. There's Scaramucci.
Is that what's his name? Is that Scaramouche?
Yeah,
How did
and
he-
They're
then
like celebrities, right?
Mel,
Yeah, Mel B or whatever, right?
Kate Gosling was in the hospital bed next to me.
where is she?
Kate Gosselin was
right?
There.
the mom.
Yeah, K+8.
Yeah, Case plus 8.
What about?
We were out there with Dwight Howard, Mike Piazza.
That's Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight Howard.
How did he do?
He did really well. He got to the last 4. And
Yeah,
then
he's an
out.
athlete.
How'd Mike
He's a
Piazza
great guy.
do?
Piazza,
Speaking
his
of
age
gay,
got him too.
just kidding.
After about a week. He made it about a week.
He made it about a week.
Yeah, he did well.
Who lasted the whole way?
The winners, the two that made it at the end were a soccer player. Where is she? Let's see.
Oh, a woman.
In this group here?
The only women made it to the end.
What?
The women, the headline of this thing is "Women are fucking tough."
How'd they do that? Don't be such a
and
feminist.
Hannah Brown in the lower right hand corner there. Hannah Brown was the Bachelorette, and she made it all the way through.
Where is she? Let me see her. How is it that she
Yeah,
did that?
down there.
Was she doing the same thing the guys were
Yeah,
doing?
she was doing everything. She's
So-
young.
Carrying the same
Young,
weight
young.
too. Yeah.
Well, how about Nastya Lukin? Nastya Lukin weighs 75 pounds, and she had a 50-pound pack on like the
Is
rest
she an
of us.
athlete?
She was a gold medal gymnast.
Okay. So
But still, like ridiculous.
But that's a strong mind.
When we
That's a
got
physical.
when we got in there, and I saw people like Nastya pick up that, I was like, "Oh my God, women are
Insane.
tough."
Now, did you guys shower at all?
There was a shower, but you couldn't.
Did you see Dwight How?
Dwight, the comedy with Dwight was, our bathrooms were just these woods.
Hey, man.
Woods. I didn't see what he was packing, but I
can
know this is the
imagine.
gay show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we had these wood stalls to shit in, and just shit on a pan essentially. It
Jesus
was
Who are those guys?
their special
Those are the
forces.
Navy
guys.
SEAls.
Yeah.
That would be Rudy's was a recon Marine.
Yeah.
Stud. But who
The
are
two
other
guys on the ends are British guys.
Oh,
and
SAS
the
guys.
African American guy is a great guy named Remy Adeluke. He's got a great story. Oh my God.
Rough dudes.
You
Yeah.
glad you did it though? Besides,
Remy was essentially a drug dealer, trafficker, womanizer in the Bronx. Had 2 felonies out for him in New York and New Jersey. Saw a movie about special forces and decided, I want to do that. Went to a recruiting office. And the woman's like, you're a felon. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
The woman took him into the courtroom and asked the judges for a dispensation in 2 different states.
Wow.
Got it. And the guy's now a Navy SEAL intelligence officer and SEAL trainer.
Damn, still
Isn't
don't
that great
trust him.
story?
Jesus.
That's awesome.
It's a great story. He's the greatest guy.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, man, that stuff's no joke. That's
it's no joke. Anyway, it's not for a 60-year-old. And, and
you
there's
learn
a
the
lot of
hard
things.
way.
I train. I would the running and all that, which was insane, was not the problem. I just wasn't paying attention to
So
the
they make you
fluids
run a
for my
long way?
age.
They make you run a long
running,
way?
crawling, in and out of water, just beating our.
Are you cold?
What?
Was I cold?
Spent a lot of time being cold.
No, it was 125 degrees.
Oh.
I'm finally overheated. That's why I got heat stroke.
I'll take hot over cold.
This was, but the heat stroke, once it started, it was like,
Jesus.
wow. I didn't know you get that sick that fast.
Because you were dehydrated.
What else you got?
And I was dehydrated. I took 5 liters of fluid before I could stand up.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So this is from the Surgeon General saying that loneliness poses the same risks as smoking.
God, that guy looks.
I love that. That's not true.
That's
but
what I wanted to
but
hear
I love
from
that he
you,
said
yeah.
that because we have such a stigma on smoking that he's going right at the loneliness thing, which is massive.
says
And by the way, thank you, the federal government and your public health officials, for putting people in social isolation for 2 years and then
And then
expecting
being like,
there to be no
it's
problem.
so bad for you. Now they're like,
Yeah.
it is so bad for you.
Yeah, I'm really angry about this.
Loneliness in young people ages 15 and 24, especially hard. Yeah, no shit.
It's really it's bad right
Loneliness
now. It's
increases
bad.
the risk of premature
30%.
death by 30%.
It's so true, though, man.
Yeah.
We've lost.
And by the way, all meaning is derived from other people. Everything good in life is from other people.
the Veterans Association, the Elk Lodges, all those things that people
Yep.
had back. in
Used
the
to
day.
have. You ever
Yeah.
read Bowling Alone?
They're all gone.
There's really no
Called Bowling
substitution.
Alone is about
No.
the lack of clubs in the United States, the decline of
Used to be
clubs.
bowling clubs. You'd come anytime you can go meet a group of people.
Yeah.
We've lost that as comics, man.
Yep.
He and I talk about it all the time because One of the great things about
community's
going to with the diaspora after COVID, where everybody went to Texas, but the Comedy Store, we would hang. It was the hang. We
no hang now.
We check in.
Come to Austin. There's a hang there.
Yeah, I know.
There's a hang there.
Yeah.
There's really no substitute for in-person interaction. Yeah, shit, this is what we're talking about with the lockdowns, man. They're like, but jobs,
I'm
the
so
job
angry
market's
about-
way up. It's like, yeah, because it was down 3 years.
I'm so angry about this. I can barely contain myself.
Dude, I will
Believe me, you're
keep going, Jim.
you're in the same gay circle. I mean, guy circle. Guy circle.
Mark Zuckerberg. So this is a little weird. Apparently, he won a silver and gold medals in jiu-jitsu, but then I guess there was some sort of incident that happened where he had to like argue with the ref because he lost. But then apparently after he argued with the ref, it was like a 0-0. Like they was
The
like
ref went missing?
tie.
Yeah. Do we know if he paid his opponents or not?
I don't know, but I mean, hey, he's winning medals, which is
Awesome.
Yeah, and our boy
in
Mikey
jiu-jitsu.
Mushimishi's his
Isn't
instructor.
arguing with referee sort of the opposite of the whole vibe of jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Imagine, it'd be interesting to see. He might get really good. He's 38.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd say I wish I'd trained in that.
What do you mean?
God.
Why?
Keep going. I can't with this pussy.
Wait, why?
I just can't.
Why?
Let me play this video
Why?
for
Wait,
you.
hold
real
on.
quick.
What is
Why are
it?
you mad at me?
The 38 white billionaire, he get high level at jiu-jitsu. Are you looking to work for Mark Zuckerberg too? What are you trying to do here, man?
You hate
Such a
that.
have a backbone. You know what I'm saying? That's all I
Dude, give me
want.
some of that. Mark Zuckerberg would be good.
What else you got, Chen?
So this is a TSA agent that, you know, sometimes they have the dogs to see, you know, sniff for whatever drugs and this and that.
Yeah.
So just look at what he does to this dog and let me know what you guys think. So this is the owner, the master of the dog here.
No, that's the Kohler technique.
Yeah.
He's training it.
So yeah, so
He's-
that's why I want to get your opinion on this.
Yeah, because they're fucking idiots. The way it's called the Kohler technique. So what you do,
He doesn't have a choke on.
that's
He
how you
just-
train. No, so what you do is you let the dog think that if he doesn't watch you,
Yeah.
he's going to get yanked.
Yes,
So
that
you
was
let the dog-
all leash training was done that way at one time.
The dog does their own self-correction. Any trainer can tell you that.
But they used to do it with a choke chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be done with a
You
choke chain.
should. But
So
they
he's just going back and forth. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
training.
yeah.
I'm more worried about his cholesterol.
So you see how he doesn't. You see how he
right?
doesn't.
That's the real story here. Not the dog. This guy, dude. This guy's.
See how he doesn't look at the dog? He just turns. So the dog's got to start. He's not doing a good job though.
No, he looks like he's sick of the dog. Shit, for sure.
Yeah,
But
he's just not. He's not doing. But what,
Well,
the
what he's
dog-
done, he's putting the dog in a distracting environment too,
Yes,
and he
yes.
wants the dog to continue to focus on him at all times.
Exactly.
And the dog is not doing it, and that's his job is to train the dog.
sometimes you gotta lay it down on the dog, show him who's boss. But also,
It's not just who's boss. It's
Yeah.
just that I could
Training.
move in a certain way, and you better pay attention in
Yes.
case.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Whoever is, they suspended him.
So he's not fired, he's suspended. It's going to be an
Yeah,
investigation.
because they're dumb. Because that's called the Kohler technique.
I don't know, but when you look at it, just as some, you know, as a dog owner, I'm sure you look at it, you're like, oh, that looks pretty bad. But if you don't know the details, then,
I was expecting a lot more.
Doesn't-
Don't send your dog away for obedience training. Then, if you
Yeah, if
think
you
that
don't
looks
like that.
bad.
I've done that with my dog. That's how you.
But
train
this
a
is
dog.
also, you know, the cancel culture. Probably hit up TSA and stuff, and like, all right, I guess we got to do something because
Yeah,
these
that's
people
right.
are so upset when they're
Oh
not.
my God.
They're
I mean,
someone filmed
they're
it and
just
then people
bored.
would comment,
They're just
so-
bored.
Right.
Imagine about the cunt filming it. Don't you have a flight to catch, bitch? She's just like, oh, here we go. I can't wait to get
could be
this.
Mrs.
out.
Kravitz, Mrs.
Yeah.
Kravitz. You
Yeah.
remember Bewitched? Mrs. Kravitz looking through the curtains of the neighbor.
Yeah.
Everybody's Mrs. Kravitz.
Everybody's
Yeah.
Mrs. Kravitz. It's so true.
I'm disgusted.
It's so fucking true.
did you guys want to talk about that shooting at all? Is it too much? Too
Which
crazy?
one?
The Texas one that just
what
happened.
do they know what it was about? I mean, obviously.
Apparently, well, they said he had.
Some sort of
they
like
said it was a white supremacist
Yeah, not-
agenda.
He was a migrant.
Nationalist something,
Yeah,
whatever.
he's
Yeah,
he's a migrant. Yeah.
This is the guy with the gun. There was another one where somebody drove a truck through somebody.
Yeah, and that guy killed 8 migrants.
Yeah.
They don't know about him yet, but he was also
They were all illegal immigrants.
Hispanic.
He'd been deported. Like one of the guys who killed that whole family had been deported 8 times or something.
That's different.
The other
You're
guy,
talking about something
but
else.
the other guy was actually also, I
No,
believe,
hold on.
here illegally.
You're getting confused here. So, Chin, you're regarding
The Texas mass shooting.
It was in Dallas,
In a
correct?
mall. It was in a
At
mall,
a mall.
right? Yeah.
And that guy did with the AR-15 killing 8 people, correct? And now what's interesting about him, he was in the military, was kicked out of the military for health, wellness.
Mental health.
Mental health issues.
Oh, boy.
So it's crazy to me if a guy gets kicked out of the military for mental health issues, even has a shot at locating a gun, you know?
I agree.
So there was like some sort of expert saying that it's not about the mental illness, because DeSantis said that it's obviously about mental illness, which I agree with, mental illness. But and then some professional guy, some sort of like, I don't know, special forces, maybe special forces or something else, said that no, it's about the gun that killed him. But it's about the mental illness, right?
It's both.
Obviously,
You should
have access to the gun to do it, but the reason why they're doing it is
there should be some restriction of access for certain mental illness.
100%.
And if we had no guns in this country, well, of course, you wouldn't see this stuff.
Mass
You would have used a
shootings,
machete or a
That's
knife
not
or something else.
realistic, though, is it?
But that's not the world we live in this country, and I don't know how we dial that back.
You want to hear a really wild stat, though?
Yeah.
So we are at 193 countries, I believe we are number 3 in gun violence. Okay? But if you were to take the 5 cities where there is the most gun violence, Chicago, Philly, I think Houston, Chicago, Philly, Detroit.
LA has to be up there just for sheer numbers.
I don't know if it's LA, but I think
Guarantee
it is
just
LA.
sheer numbers.
Yep.
Guarantee.
Right. So it's all these cities. If you were to take out the cities and they all have the strictest gun controls. So it's St. Louis, it's Detroit, it's Chicago, it's Philadelphia, and I think it's Los Angeles. And they have the strongest, the very, very tight gun laws. If you were to take all of those cities out, keep in mind they are blue, I'm just saying, not, but if you were to take them out of the equation, we would not be the 3rd, we would be the 189th. That's pretty significant. So a lot of the gun violence is gang on gang. A lot of it's gang on gang. A lot of it is that. So it's just, I thought.
Yeah, the gang on gang is an issue, but then
I'm not saying we don't have
with the mass shootings. It's also,
that's
clearly a problem in
That's a
Texas
problem.
as well. Because how many have they had now?
Look, mass shootings are a problem, and we have to do something about it. I mean, I do think all of us know that no matter where you are, we're all looking over our shoulder, and I don't like that. That's a problem. So.
And that happened pretty fast too. We got here quick.
Yes,
got here quick.
But it happens so much like that. That's barely even news now. That's what's crazy.
How do we define what mental health is then? So, because you're a doctor, so if you've got, because I'm all in favor of keeping crazy people away from guns. I really am. The problem is then you get, when I talk to Second Amendment guys, they're all like, how do you define what mental health is? Does that mean depression is? One I had maybe,
Yes. Yes.
But what if you were depression?
Yes.
In
You
Illinois,
got to see a professional to get cleared in order to get access to a gun.
cleared, right.
No matter what it is,
Right.
across the board.
We have lost track of a use of, say, mental health professionals' judgment.
Yeah.
It should be okay, and you should be okay to restrict people from hurting themselves and other people if it's your doctor's opinion that you are of danger.
But what
that
if
should be
you?
enough.
What if
we don't allow that at all now.
So what if you're ex-military, ex-cop, whatever it is, you've been living a law-abiding life, you own a bunch of guns, and now you are suffering from some PTSD or some depression, and then you get a psyche valve, and that you hit a red flag. Now, do you want to have the state come and get your guns? You see what I mean? It gets very, very dicey.
Have we had that happen though in a mass shooter? No.
I'm just asking questions.
I'm just saying,
I don't
but
know.
What we normally do is we have the family collect the guns.
Family.
Or somebody else take the guns away. Because there are plenty of times when people are not discharged from the hospital if there are guns in the home. Plenty of times. And you go clear them out, clear the guns out of there.
Clear the guns out.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because right now, even
And by the way, Minnie McCready killed herself because they fucking sent her home with guns.
Who is this?
Minnie McCready, I
Country
treated her
singer,
a long
right?
time ago. She was severely depressed.
Terrible.
Her fiance just killed himself.
Damn.
We got her set up, got her hospitalized, talked her way out. They let her go with guns. That was that. It's just, there's so much, you can't imagine how horrible and how many people we allow to die or kill other people who could have easily been saved.
Yeah.
The opiate thing, I hope people are still getting, that's story number one.
Yeah.
We did that. We created that. And then we perpetuated it.
We got to do
and
something.
And then we killed people.
We got to do something. You know, when you get one mass shooting after another, and I feel like the Republicans are saying we need more guns. And after a while, you're like, hey guys, I own guns, but that doesn't work.
Well, but on both sides,
Right?
what you're doing is clearly not working. What you're doing is clearly
There you
not
go.
working.
Right.
Like it's not a left or right.
Right.
Thing. It's an American.
Let's solve
thing.
a problem.
Yeah, I don't care. I
agree.
Whatever side.
That's a
right.
very, very good point.
We've lost track of pragmatism entirely. Everything's ideological.
unbelievable.
Yes.
And we should be just solving problems for humans.
Right.
Pragmatically, period.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now, to do a background check on to buy a automatic weapon, there's no history of your mental nothing. Nothing gets alerted. Nothing.
Maybe everyone should have to get a doctor's evaluation. Or
That's what I'm saying. Or at least have some background.
Hard to figure out what's going on in somebody's brain.
I don't think we're going to figure out here, unfortunately. If Dr.
We
Drew,
have
figured a
figured
lot
out-
of things out.
We have figured out that we're all gay.
We are all gay.
we knew that coming in, though, fellas.
Apparently, I'm racist.
I
so-
did. Oh, you're. Yeah, we.
I see. I've known that. I'm glad it's
kinda
out
knew
there
that.
now. I'm
Kinda
glad
knew
it's out
that.
now. Because you didn't want to do a show with me because you thought I was Mexican for years.
That's an outrage. It's a lie. It's a lie. Brendan's going
my
to
God.
Europe.
Yo, I'm in Ice House, though. I'm doing sets all around LA. I'm at Laugh
No.
Factory.
Why did you tell me? I'm going to put that on my calendar right now. I live in Pasadena.
Come on in, man. May 19th, Schaub and Friends. Got some monsters on there. One show only. I think it's at 8. And then I'll be doing sets all of May around LA. I'm at Laugh Factory on Friday. So Schaub and Friends is May 19th. And then La Jolla Comedy Store, June 2nd through the 4th. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then I'm off to Europe. Belfast, June 15th. Glasgow, June 17th. Manchester, June 18th. London, June 22nd. Cardiff, June 23rd. Ending the Europe tour in Dublin, June 25th. Tickets at thickboy.com.
In Dublin. I'll see you at Stress Factory this weekend. Actually, May 12th and 13th. I'm not there May 11th.
Your website's a disaster.
I know. And then Helium Comedy Club. We got Memorial Day, May 26th, 27th, 28th. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Coming back on Monday.
Dr. Drew shows.
DrDrew.com, Adam and Drew Show. People that want Loveline back. We've been doing a podcast together for 10 years, everybody. I am Dr. Drew. I have my own podcast, and then I have the streaming show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 3 o'clock at drdrew.tv. And then, as we discussed, Dr. Drew After Dark over at your mom's house, which is another YouTube
You're a
video.
busy man, Dr. Drew.
Awesome,
We
man.
appreciate the time, brother.
You're awesome.
Great
So
seeing
I
you.
miss you guys. We got to do more of this.
know.
I'm coming May 19th.
Let's
I'm
do it,
coming
brother.
up.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll probably ask Adam. Adam was on my last one, so I'll ask
Perfect,
Adam to be there too.
perfect.
Yeah. We get it done. Dr. Drew, thank you, man. Appreciate
you,
it.
guys.
Buddy. That was
So
great.
much.
See you in the bathroom
Keep
in a
finding the
few
good fight. See you in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I won't say anything that's going to get me canceled.